Orange tea.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Mike.
We didn't pick an order.
We never do. I mean, sort of. Guys, it is Thirsty Thursday. I don't know. We're going to roll with that for tonight. We called an audible, tried to do a Thursday night show because we did not want to compete with our good friends at the Full 42. So we are doing our show tonight. We had a little thing yesterday, but again, did not conflict. And ironically, they were having technical issues yesterday that they didn't even make it out. No conviction.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what? That's you said that, not me. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, okay. Oh, they. Anyways, so yeah, you can watch the thing from yesterday. I'll recap it a little bit. We just went over a little bit of news. Talked about some Kickstarters. I'm really excited. We had to actually sign an NDA for this. It was kind of fun. But it is live now and doing all right on Kickstarter, and that is They Live.
They Live is live.
Save the City or Enslave the City, depending on what side you're on. Anyways, we had a good time with this. It's played surprisingly well with a low player count. Check out the video. It's awesome. Worn Wanderers, our buddy Dennis Perlstein and Claromancy games. There's like hours, if not minutes, left on the Kickstarter. So this is like a Spencer, let's talk about a Kickstarter 3 days after it ended situation here. But yeah, they're funded. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's there. It's happening. Chemical Overload is funded. There's still like 8 days left on that. And also, I mean, we have to talk about how excited we are about Forges of Ravenshire, funded in 7 hours.
Funded.
It's doing well, but everybody should have that game. That means
it's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. No, that is.
Oh yeah, let's shroud that game in secrecy as Dan secretly shrouded himself in darkness when the show started. What happened here? This was not the case when we were in our pre-production meeting.
Yeah, that's true. You guys have enough yellow contrast for all of us, so I figured I'd come back with some blue.
You're welcome. So anyways, guys, oh yeah, look at that. We got Jeff, we got Jazz, we got Nix as always. We'll see who else shows up. I know we're doing it on an off night, so it's going to be a little interesting to see what the crowd looks like. If it's a little
This is an experiment.
Yeah, an experiment. That's what we're doing. Mike, are you enjoying a beverage tonight?
Am I partaking in a beverage? Yes, sir, I am. I have actually made myself a old-fashioned. I've done so with Evan Williams small batch, which actually for the price is excellent. I know people usually only think Evan Williams is cheap whiskey, but their small batches very good.
I don't think Evan Williams, even the cheap Evan Williams, is pretty good.
It is, right?
Tell them snobs to go away. Dan just cracked a frothy cream soda there, or whatever that is.
That's a Diet Coke, is what that is.
Delicious.
It's a creamy Diet Coke. And I'm just running with that because I drink till that bottle is done because I am a working dad and rather spend my disposable income on board games when I can.
True. And Tim, isn't your birthday coming up in May?
Yeah.
Don't you have a May birthday? I don't know how I remembered that. It's weird.
I do have a May
we'll do
birthday.
Something about that whiskey option is what's going to happen. So
Sweet. We could do that. Yeah, we're going to have some kind of gathering and play some games again because that was really fun last year.
That sounds
I believe
terrible.
we did it on a day that Dan couldn't make it, so it was extra fun for everybody.
Perfect.
Got it.
We just need Dan to get like a awesome job that doesn't work him
Saturdays off.
I have the most set normal schedule out of frickin' everyone.
I literally work Monday through Friday, like 8 to 4.
We don't talk about that.
That's pretty set.
Nah.
8 to 5, 3 on Friday.
Yeah. And I've been looking forward to this, hanging out with these guys tonight. We've got a pretty fun topic.
It is a fun topic.
And I'm interested to hear how you guys approached it. Because
that's actually the most interesting part to me, is the approaching part, because it's rough.
Well, so anyways, the topic Dan, why don't you go with the topic? Why don't you give us the topic?
And as you approach the mic, why don't you tell us how you approach this topic?
Oh boy.
Hey. So the way we approached this topic was it was a message to me in Facebook.
2 hours ago.
They said retheme games. You guys, we put a poll on Discord, and there was a tie in the vote. So I hopped in and I voted for the one we were already planning on doing, so that we were winning. And yeah, so we took games and we rethemed them, which is so much harder than coming up with a new game. As it turns out, coming up with a new game is like, oh, I want a game that's themed like The Matrix. Okay, well, how would I do that? There'd be these factions. Okay, well, what kind of game? Like, it'd be so much easier. But then to say like, okay, guys, but then to say, but then to say like, oh, I want it. Here's what The Matrix is. What game already exists that does enough of that?
Yeah,
that I can put Matrix in it without it just feeling like a crappy pasted on theme. That's the hard part for sure. So yeah, hearing how everyone approached this is going to be interesting, because I said in our pre-chat, I don't have it pulled up here, but I said basically my things that I said was I wanted it to be a good game in the first place, because if you just retheme a crappy game, then you just have a rethemed crappy game. Like that's not going to do anything, right? So like if I don't like, I don't know, a game I don't like, if I don't like Kalis, and I retheme it to Star Wars, now I just have a crappy Star Wars game.
Right.
You know?
I love that take. Nice, Jeff.
What's like a good classic like science fiction TV show, you know,
Right.
had a good run, but it's been gone for like 12 years now.
Oh,
Man.
Stargate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could do it like that. Or
right,
Spaceballs. No, that's not
yeah.
it.
No,
comedy.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
There's probably a good one out there though.
might be a couple of them, like three or so.
So that was one thing, was I wanted it to be a good game in the first place, right? Then I didn't want it to just feel pasted on, like obvious. We already talked about that. And I had a third thing that I don't remember. So Mike, on to you.
Hey, Doctor Who is still happening, but
okay, so I took some games that I thought one would help actually make the game better or more palatable or get more exposure to a more broader audience.
so you
with
just
the
slapped
theme.
you just slapped Marvel themes on all of these then?
Yes,
And put Grogu in every game?
correct.
I actually,
Yes.
I do agree though. That was, so my third thing, the way I worded it was just, I wanted it to sell. It needed to be like a sellable
Oh,
theme.
sure.
And that goes into what Mike's saying, to where you take a game that like doesn't get a lot of love, or, you know, there's a couple of my list that are like games that either I don't find the theme attractive, or I think that most people, when I'm like, hey, this is a great game, you should try it, or like, that theme doesn't interest me. And I'm just like, okay, what can I make this game that is going to make people more likely to grab it off the shelf, instead of just go, that box looks stupid, you know?
Yeah.
So, so I do have several that are actually pretty popular, but I still thought a retheme would just kind of be fun. And then I have one that I think has one of the dumbest themes I've ever heard of in my life. And I don't know what to retheme it as, because the theme is so dumb that I really can't recreate what it's trying to do. So I'll need some help.
I was gonna put Fantasy Realms on my list, like literally theme it with anything, you know, like Marvel. It would really benefit if you did like a superhero thing.
Man, if wow, you're onto something.
Yeah, I try. No,
Dun, dun, dun.
like you guys, I picked all games I like. Actually, I think
Yes.
love
all the games on this list.
I think I really only care about 2 of these themes. Like I'm only going to replace 2 themes that I actually care about. But I was like, that would be fun to just see a different version of this game. You know, and it could be a, you know, one of those, like, it's like with Nightmare Productions just being a retheme, but it's pretty much like a reprint with like a new skin. So that's I might have needed to add like 1 or 2 rules, but like very minor tweaks to make the retheme work a little bit. But for the most part, they could be pretty much straight ported over.
Wow.
and maybe give a different feel. There's one game that I'm wondering if I could make it sound more appealing to Dan that he would actually like it.
Well, yeah. So there is one on mine out of the 5 that is a game.
Oh, so you rethemed DC Deck Builder, Tim?
Impossible. It's already perfect. You can't touch perfection.
So there is one on my list of a game that I don't like, but is admittedly a great game. It just is. And so I was like, I'll retheme it into something that I find more interesting for sure.
Oh, sure. I mean, if anything, right? Like if it would entice you to at least try that game one more time, you know, if the theme is interesting enough to you, then hell yeah, good job. You've succeeded.
We'll see.
Okay. That being said, are we ready to go ahead and jump into this?
I am excited about my list. I don't know why, because it took me a minute to like get it rolling. Like I had one that came to mind immediately, and then after that, I had to like really like get in and dig in and really start to like think of some stuff.
I would be blown away if this game isn't in Tim's list, at least as an honorable mention. I typed privately to him, guys. Just so
wow, nice.
And then Tim left.
And we lost Tim while he tried to check something.
Okay, now
I
Mike,
guess.
I'm gonna privately message you.
Yeah, Tim, go ahead and whisper it to me real quick.
You can't get me out of the show. You can't. You try to trick me. Get me out. I'm like, ooh. Clicky,
oh my word!
Clicky, it worked.
Tricky. Yep.
Okay. Well, we don't want to lose any more toes here. Who's getting started?
We'll start with you. We'll do clockwise.
Okay.
We'll do clockwise. I think I think this will be it's easier for me to segue when I'm done. I'm afraid I'll cut one of you guys off. So all right, Tim. It's time for number 5.
Okay, this is actually in the order that I want them to. So it's a pure list, Dan. I did a real list.
So the one that's not called a top 5, you did in order. Got it. Okay.
So the number 5 game that I would retheme, because I've played this game like twice and the theme is nonsense to me. So it needs no theme. Just take the theme off, and that is Scout.
Oh.
Just let Scout be Scout. The theme confuses me, to be honest, because it's bad enough that I think Ark Nova is you're building a zoo in space. But when I play Scout and it's like, wait, I'm a talent scout for the circus, this is asinine. That game has no theme. It needs no theme. You could put peanut butter on it. It's like just smear peanut butter on the card. That's your theme. It is that pasted on of a theme.
It's peanut butter jelly time.
It's
lots of effort went into this pick.
That game, well, that's why it's my 5. But it's the first one I thought of. So it's an
effort ranking? Got it.
Yeah, also true. It's the first one I thought of, though. I was like, that's a good game, but the theme is stupid. It's nonsense. You don't need it. It's what I tried to avoid. It is like the definition of pasted on. 100%. 100%. And to me, the game would be better without theme. Oh.
Yeah, just... Hey, this is a version of trick taking, kind of.
Right.
You know what's funny? I wrote this down as an honorable mention. I didn't know what to do with it. Just the actual theme that they did paste on, like, that glue dried a long time ago.
That theme is crusty by now.
All right, That's it. It's short and sweet. There wasn't a lot to that one, but I wanted to get it out of the way. It bothered me. It bothered me when we played it. It bothers me still, clearly.
It does?
Bothers me.
So my number 5 is my number 5 because it's the most basic choice. I would be surprised if this didn't at least cross other people's minds. It's boring, and that is the fact that Marvel Champions is great. I want to own it. I almost bought Mike's copy, but it is a bit expensive. But I would buy DC Champions instantly. I got my hopes up for a second. I was like, DC Deck Builder? No, it's a boring pick. I don't really have too much to go into. I think Marvel Champions is a fantastic system. I get it. MCU is very popular, so Marvel sells better than DC right now because the DCEU fell apart. You know, and so I get it, but I am much more interested in playing as Batman versus the Joker than I am Iron Man versus any Iron Man villain.
Yeah, no,
so-
I mean, and it really, honestly, it might just be a matter of licensing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, if Fantasy Flight had the DC license, and I think the DC villains gallery, right,
Exactly.
is very interesting and lucrative.
I think it's far better. So, so again, I'm not going to go into much. I don't know what you guys think about DC versus MCU and everything, but and especially so, what Jeff just said here, because then if you have the just rethemed version of the same game, then mixing them together is possible, like what you can do with the legendary games and stuff. So, you know, you can have Spider-Man and Batman teaming up against, you know, who knows? Let's get Sentinels of the Multiverse in there too and fight one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, DC is, I like the universe and everything. Yes, I'm sorry that MCU is a much more lucrative theme right now. That's why we have Marvel Champions. So hopefully DC gets itself up and Fantasy Flight decides it's worth it.
Well, maybe with the new direction that the DC studios are trying to take with James Gunn at the helm.
James Gunn, yeah.
They are looking at like tie-ins and actually like expanding, you know, the universe in those different ways. And man, it would be totally awesome to get a great, like, another great DC based game. I do, all jokes aside, I like DC Deck Builder, but it doesn't really come across like thematically like a Marvel Champions does, right? Or even Marvel Legendary. Give me a DC Legendary. Holy crap, DC Legendary would be great. Because again, with the plot twists and the the schemes and the villains and like all the different things you could do, it'd be so cool. So that's a great pick, Dan. I thought about Marvel Champions, but I didn't think going DC with it.
You didn't think the most obvious one?
Well, what happened was I thought Sentinels of the Multiverse, and I go, we already have that with Marvel Champions, which is why I went to Marvel Champions, because it's the improved version, in my opinion. But anyways, no, really good pick, solid pick, 100% buy that game day one.
Yeah, got my wallet.
Nice. Okay, my number 5. So really, this is just because of really every time everybody looks at the box, it's just like, what is this? And this is one of my favorite games. I talk about it all the time. Don't care. It's Cubitos. You've got Leader Cheesin on the cover. Leader Cheesin is the name of the card.
His name?
Cheese Bob SquarePants.
That's him right there. Oh, no, that's not him. We don't even have screen share going, apparently. So, no, we just shrunk ourselves. That's all we did. The Leader Cheesin, I can bring him up if necessary. But that box, just the theme is based on everything as a cube. But it's one of my favorite racing games ever. And I just feel like if you slap on any theme on this game, I just love it so much. I think so many more people would check it out. I think it's very accessible, and a theme to make more people look at it would help tremendously. And I don't care. I would just make this a Mario Kart theme. If it got this like huge IP like that, where you're just going out of the way to pick up these power-ups, and I think you could even add variable player powers to this, where you start with a Mario die, because everybody starts with the same starting 7 dice. Everybody starts with one unique die, depending on the character that you are. Oh my gosh, that's a home run to me. I really think the theme does nothing for this game, and I love the game. So yes, I would slap on any good IP to make this game shine for more people. But I really think Mario Kart makes a lot of sense.
It really does. That's not bad.
Yeah, I actually think that's really good, because at first it's like, but how are you going to get all the crazy Mario Kart powers like the red shell and stuff in there? You'd have to change the game. Well, no, you wouldn't. You would just change what the dice do. So when you're buying cards, when you're buying dice from cards, you're just buying, this is the red turtle shell die. When I roll this, it does X to an opponent, right?
Yes.
So you would just change how the cards, like it would be a meaner version.
It would have a lot more attack dice in it, I think, offensive dice. Yeah.
So
exactly like you said, a red shell that like cancels out somebody's active dice, for example. Green shells that do that, but like maybe not as well. Like the other player gets to choose which one they discard.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the red shell would target the player next in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So the target next in front of you has to do X, has to discard X or something, right? Yeah, like that's I actually think that would work really well. That's a good call. Never would have crossed my mind.
So before we go too much further, Nix, do you need to hear what Dan's pick was? I know you had to let the dog out conveniently. But if you need to know, we can go back before we move on to number 4. But yeah, that sounds really cool. I haven't played Cubitos yet. Like Jeff, I need to try Cubitos. I loved Warriors.
Warriors, Dice Masters. If you like those games, you will probably like Cubitos. It has similar stuff in it, but it's a racing game, and it does it well. It was super easy. I didn't even spend that long on it, Nix. It was literally just I want a DC version of Marvel Champions. That's literally all it was. So, boring number 5.
I'm excited for it. Like I want that really bad now. So I wouldn't say boring.
Nice. Okay, that means we go to number 4.
Okay, so this one I really put some thought into because I thought like, I'm doing a list. I probably should put some thought into it.
That's a terrible idea, Tim. What gave you that idea?
So what if we were playing this game and instead of like a score tracker, you've got like a health tracker, right? And so it could go negative. You're not going to die. There's no player elimination, but everybody starts like full health, right? Like X amount of health. And then you get poisoned. You draw a card and that's the poison. And so now you have to reach into this bag and you're pulling out chips to negate that poison. And you got to reach like a certain level so that you can negate that poison, like every round. And then a different round, you get a different poison. So you can buy different chips, different types of antidotes to add to your bag. And so now you're building and you're going around and you're trying to like negate as much poison as you can. The poison you can't negate, you just lose health. Person with the most health at the end wins. This is a retheme of Quacks of Quedlinburg. Yeah. I want to do a retheme, but it's like pressure. You're trying to stay alive. I don't know. I'm trying to get Dan to like.
Nice.
Tim, I hate being poisoned. I don't know if this. I don't know if this will work.
Tim, I love this idea. It's another honorable mention for me.
Wait, were you gonna poison
Tim's
yourself
on fire, baby?
Put myself out. No, I just thought like, how could you make? Because honestly, like the theme of Quacks, I don't care. I do not care about the theme of Quacks. Right. I absolutely love that game. Love that game.
Fun gameplay.
Right. And it makes sense with the mechanics.
But to try to do the mechanic, I was like, what would you do to make it though, where there's some real tension with the bag pull? Like, I might not lose any health. And you could even, like there's chips that would give you health, like they're going to have different abilities. They're going to negate the different types of toxins that are in your body. And anyways, I was like, maybe this theme would be cool. Like give it an espionage theme, you're spying and then, in Russia and then Putin pokes you with one of those umbrellas. And now you've got that.
Said,
buffering.
He said Putin and they kicked his internet off. You gotta be careful. Don't fuck with the Russians.
Oh, whoops. I didn't even mean to do that yet.
Yeah, Putin did that too.
Yeah, he did. He totally did.
But yeah, like I feel like you're a spy, you get poisoned, and you're immediately like just in a bathroom somewhere, just like trying to down different things and whatever to negate the toxins in your body.
This got weird.
Good to see you, Andrew.
Hey.
But anyways, that was my number 4, Quacks of Quedlinburg, rethemed, where you're trying to negate poison in your own body.
That sounds fun. I would love to see a retheme of Quacks. I think you can make it a lot of crazy things. That's why it was, honorable mention.
It wasn't for me because I only did good games.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. So because this wasn't a top list, mine aren't in order because like that's okay if it's not like a top 5, you know. Yeah. So what should I do next? I'll do this one next. Okay, guys. I'm gonna take a game, and I'm gonna retheme it because the only issue with this game, it's an amazing game. The only issue is every time I try to get someone to play it, like Levi, for instance, they go, "That theme's just boring, Dan. I'm not interested in the theme." So I took Watergate. Okay,
That theme is not boring. That
I
theme is
know.
amazing.
That's a cool
What I'm
theme.
saying though is it's the only thing that ever gets people to not play it is the theme,
Ugh.
right? It's the
Right.
only negative for the game. Negative, right? And it's a game that has been kind of rethemed, right? Like not really, but like Twilight Struggle is similar. It's a way bigger game, but like it's supposed to be a similar idea. There's a game out there called Blitzkrieg, which is a similar idea. You know, you have these history-based tug of war games that are 2 players, you know, like you have a lot of that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll just say that the name of the game, right, in my hypothetical universe is Project Stardust. Do you guys know what that means I'm retheming it as?
David Bowie song.
Yeah, okay. Anyone in the comments really quick before I say it? I know I'm wasting time, but we have plenty of time.
We got time. You're not wasting time.
I'll just give like 20 seconds if anyone knows what Watergate's going to turn into if I call it Project Stardust. So I'm just going to leave that for a second.
Neil Gaiman book.
Your guys' geek card is... hey, Bob knows what Project Stardust is.
Oh boy.
So Project Stardust is the Death Star. So let's get Watergate, right? And instead we're doing the Rogue One story, okay? We are trying to get intel. Both sides are trying to get intel. For anyone who has played Watergate, the basic mechanics are you are playing cards in your hand. You're either doing the event on the card or you are doing a tug of war push pull with things on a track, and when it ends around on your side of the track, you hit. Okay. Then you go to the main board where there's a whole big strings, and in the center is Nixon, and on the outside is collaborators, and you're trying to you're trying to win the stuff in a tug of war and place it on the big map. The one player needs to, so there you go. The one player needs to connect the 2 people on the outside to Nixon in the center along those red lines. You can see a green rectangle is on a green spot. That yellow and green is on yellow because it can go on either. You need 2 connected dots to go to the center. Nixon is putting them face down, which is why you see the black ones, because he's trying to hide the collaborators and the evidence and stuff, right? He doesn't want the connection to be made. That's the whole game. So super simple here, just to get this game played by more people in modern society. You are trying to get the plans for the Death Star, right? You're getting evidence on the sidebar, and then in the center, you are trying to get the plans to Leia. Right, so it's a swap of the roles. The board is now the good team. The board is Leia. We are trying to get the plans from our different destinations to Leia in the center aboard the Tantive 4 or the Tantive Eve, depending on who you ask. Right, that's all I would change. You can have all these, especially because the game is based on this historical stuff. So all the cards have facts and stuff on it, right, about all the people and everything that happened. That is a fascinating thing to do with Star Wars. Having all these facts on these cards and events from the movies and stuff like that that's happening. Again, I don't need Watergate rethemed. I think the theme is interesting, and I think it's an amazing game. But the thing is, most people I know haven't played it. The only reason I've played it is because our editor said, hey, guys, try this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's right.
So you now picture a Star Wars game sitting on a shelf in a thing, and people flip it over and, oh, it's a 2-player game. It plays in 40 minutes. It seems pretty simple. Oh, this is interesting. It's about stealing the plans to the Death Star and getting them to Leia. It's just going to get so many more people to play this fantastic game.
Oh, you're right.
Guess what? Once they like it,
It really would.
maybe they'll try Watergate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe. I don't know. I just want people to play this game. So that was my way of kind of what Mike said earlier, taking a game and changing the theme to try to get more eyes on it. And that's what I'm doing here with Project Stardust. So let's be real, though. It could never be called Project Stardust in real life. It would be called Star Wars Rogue One, the board game, Project Stardust edition, based on
get Leia the plans. They give it a real dumb name, unfortunately.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it.
No, it's good. That's really good. Yeah, because we don't need a game with like historical significance that still is having ramifications to this day. No, get rid of that.
Yeah.
Let's put Star Wars on it.
Exactly.
Nope.
Glad you're picking up what I put down.
Yeah. Faux show. But yeah, man, that sounds really cool. I play the shit out of that game, but I also really want to play Watergate. So
Yeah, that's true.
that would be one where I'd probably just own both, because I'd be like, well, here's a Star Wars version for people that aren't nerds, or different kinds
you
of
mean
nerds.
the opposite, but
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm about to change the theme on my favorite game of all time, and that's Concordia.
Hey, nice.
You're gonna change it to trading in the
No.
I don't know, Alps.
So here's what I actually did. I put some thought into this. So
Oh, that's a change.
So I know, right? Yeah. Very, just fly by the seat of my pants. Let's just take a look at the original box cover. And I want you to tell me why you would want to play this game.
Because I want to buy some grapes or whatever it is.
I think those are coins. I think it looks like grapes to me.
I mean, that snake arm piece is pretty sick.
Hey,
Yeah.
man. That's,
No,
pretty
it's-
sweet.
Here's the thing is, I'm into like Mediterranean women, so like if I get into this game, maybe she'll
She is a
like
brunette, so
maybe she'll like me,
Look, Here's the thing. I think Concordia is a perfect game. I really do. It is elegant. It is smart. It is strategic. There's no luck. It is an awesome, incredible game, and it doesn't need a retheme to sell more copies. I mean, maybe that would help.
Box cover.
It needs a new box cover, and we've talked at length about how the box cover and the components and the theme are honestly why I didn't check the game out for years.
Yep.
And then I knew the first time I played it, halfway through, I'm like, I like this a lot. I am going to really rank this high before it's all said and done. I knew it. I just knew it. And we're looking at my favorite game to this day. And I also like modern themes. And this theme may not appeal to everybody, but I actually just tried to take a theme that was modern and fit the theme of this game and the mechanics especially. And I'm going to make this a property mogul game, a modern property, like you're flipping real estate. You are, instead of wood, brick, tools, wheat, wine, you're getting wood, brick, tools, shingles, concrete, glass. Instead of getting more colonists, you're hiring contractors, and you are trading your stuff to get money to send your contractors out to build buildings that you can then collect income off of. Okay?
So you just are making Property Brothers the board game?
Yes,
Or,
Property Brothers, the board
Or
game.
love it
There
or
is.
list it. I'm trying to think of some of those
Yes.
other
There you go. You just got to get one of those HGTV shows that you mentioned to slap their name on this game, get us a new box cover, and I'm in for it. I want it.
So far, you've taken an old, boring themed game and kind of decided to make it a modern, boring themed game.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. House flipping. I'm trying to get other versions of the box, but
it will sell better, right? And if that's what you're going for, then that's the move. It's not like you could take this and make it Lord of the Rings, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just anything to just change to make this game more appealing to a broader audience. I'm open to hearing your interpretation of what this game can be, because literally anything but trading in the Mediterranean and putting this woman holding her satchel of gold.
I need to play it first.
Well, you do. It's amazing. It's very simple, but I feel like the depth of strategy in this game for the amount of rules overhead is second to none. So yeah.
People always use the trading in the Mediterranean thing as like an insult. And like I wanna make a game where you like trade the Mediterranean. Where you're trading the water.
No, wait. Like little vials of water, or like the actual ocean, the entire body of water. Okay, just all at once. That's cool, man. Because I got a bridge in Brooklyn I can sell you too. I'll say
Yes.
Mediterranean.
Yeah.
But that bridge in Brooklyn ain't gonna cross it, so you got to buy multiple bridges from me, and we'll string them together. I got this one in Florida. It's real long. It should do the trick. But
okay, I'll take it.
Sweet.
So
So
got some desert property in New York City for you as well.
no take
So
back.
Trevor says there's probably a map for Concordia that's Middle Earth. So I guess I was incorrect.
Ooh, I gotta go look for that. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah, but it's from the Silmarillion, and nobody can understand it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tim, let's hear your number 3.
All right, so my number 3 that I'm gonna retheme. There is sort of a retheme of this that will be coming out soon. Once the Kickstarter fills, but this is going to be different enough because this isn't the game that I'm talking about is Quests and Cannons. That game doesn't need a retheme. That theme is amazing. But I realized as like you guys were talking and I'm looking at the next one I'm going to talk about retheming. I wanted to retheme Xia Legend of a Drift System, which is a game I love. But if you could make it where you're like pirates, but like my vision is you would still want to have the wormholes and stuff. So you're going to have like mythology in it too, right? So it's not gonna be like historical pirates, it's gonna be like ancient pirates, right? With like there's giant whirlpools and sea monsters and things like this. So there's other things, and you're going around, you're raiding, you're going from port to port, you're doing other things. You could be in the Mediterranean, you can do some trading there.
I'm so the Panama Canal. There's definitely no games about that.
Yeah, none. But you can get your ship like logged sideways in it, which really sucks. Oh, that's the Suez, but still. But no, I thought
then it becomes the game container.
How cool would Xia be though if it was like oceans, big bodies of water going from different ports? You're still flipping the tiles, and exploring the different areas. You're gonna have like hazardous areas. There's gonna be reefs. There's things like that. Xia is a game that I absolutely love. I think it's incredible. Had a small print run with both Kickstarters, but
this was
not
on
a ton
my
of people have played it.
Short list, for sure. I just didn't know what I would do with it. You think it would be better if it was ships instead of space?
Well, so here's the other thing. I got like another alternate written down. Do what I wanted Star Wars Outer Rim to be and make it a freaking Star Wars game. Like,
you haven't played Star Wars Outer Rim.
I have, and it was fine.
Thank you, Andrew.
I did. I wanted to play it with you, and the last time we talked, I hadn't played it, so you've played it since then.
Yeah, I played it.
You guys are killing me tonight.
I played it. It's not. It just doesn't do enough for me.
Sure.
It's fine for what it is. I have not played the expansion, but Xia to me is a much better game, a more fulfilling game. Even though the theme, who cares? It's just generic space with some cool ships and everything.
And amazing coins.
Oh, dude. Top-notch components.
The triangle coins?
Yeah, I love
pre-painted ships, too. To have pre-painted pirate ships like that would be sick. Again, the whole way that your board works with your gridded ship system right there would work perfectly on a water ship, I guess I have to call it, because otherwise
a sailboat, a schooner.
Yeah, I wanted to say ship.
No, there's definitely different things you could do with it. And again, though, right? Like quests and cannons is gonna kill it, right? Because that game is awesome. I cannot.
I mean, it's not a sandbox, but
no, it's not sandboxy enough, right? But it does so many cool things with the shipboards.
Right.
And I think that's where in my brain they kind of were like, oh, they're kind of close, right? They're cousins, maybe second cousins. But the sandboxiness of Xia is just so cool. But so to have that with like a theme that is either that may draw other people in, or if you just had like a straight up IP on it, could be freaking amazing. Like again, Star Wars. Even Star Trek would be fine, but a Star Wars, like you guys are just scoundrels running around, and it's like,
the whole point of Xia is you don't have to be a scoundrel. It's just one of the intriguing options.
Listen, if you can't be scruffy looking and a nerf herder, what's the point?
Yeah. No. Again, this was on my short list, and the only reason I would have marked it off is because, again, to me it was like, I don't want to have another Star Wars game.
Sure.
So, and that's what it could work really well as.
Well, and that's where I went with sort of that nautical fantasy sort of thing.
Right.
I thought sea monsters and like whirlpools that could like pop you
Krakens
around to the other part.
Yep.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. Super cool, super fun. And I am digging all of the Mallrats quotes. Snoochie Boochies. God, I love that movie so much. That's the first movie I ever saw Michael Rooker in. And my life has never been the same. So anyway, Zaya is my number 3.
Cool. Okay.
If Mike can stop giggling, he can tell us. Oh wait, it'll be Dan's turn.
Some of these made up game names are just hilarious tonight. You guys are killing it.
I'll do my boring Euro because I wanted one. So a lot of my games, even like I'll have some honorable mentions, right? A lot of mine work really well as co-op games or team games. And I was like, I need some normal competitive Euros out there, like worker placement and stuff, like honestly, it was hardest to think of those. And so Mike did Concordia, right? Like an old classic Euro kind of thing that still holds up today. So mine, again, for the same reason, here's a game that is amazing. And it's just new people in the hobby are never going to touch it. People who play this game are people who are in the hobby, hear it's good, and play it, and that's Puerto Rico.
Oh, Trevor just called it in the comments.
I was just thinking it too.
Yeah, people, if you're brand new to the hobby, you're not picking Puerto Rico up off
You're
the
not.
shelf.
You're not.
So I was trying to find a classic Euro, and actually Levi helped with this one quite a bit because I was thinking about Puerto Rico and I couldn't get anywhere with it, and I just kind of scratched off the list.
You want Puerto Rico, but more slaves.
I'm
just kidding.
Oh God. Anyway, so I kind of scratched off the list, and then I was talking about how I wanted a Euro, and Levi said, "What about Puerto Rico?" And I said, "Yeah, I just don't know how to do it." And so Levi said, "Hey Dan, you're working on that worker placement game kind of in your off time, very rarely, but I was working on a worker placement game called Game Night, which the theme of Game Night is you're trying to host a game night." Right. And so you're buying snacks, you're inviting friends, you're doing all this stuff to try to make the perfect game night. And all the competitors, right, all the players is everyone hosting a game night on the same night. And you want to have the most enticing game night so more people show up to yours. Right. And so Levi said, we can do that. Let's work on that. And Levi started throwing ideas out. And so, yeah, we landed with a bunch of stuff. So instead of and so the settler in Puerto Rico gives you corn and wheat and stuff like that. So instead, in this, are you collecting board games or card games or TCGs, right? So your plantations instead are your game types. What do you specialize in? You specialize in corn in Puerto Rico. Okay, well, my store specializes in TCGs, right? And that's your building up. Then your buildings, right, are things that need to support your products. So we were talking about tournaments and giveaways and stuff like that. You're building these buildings that support these things. So when you do a tournament, that brings in more customers and stuff like that, right? And so that kind of thing. Obviously, yes, the customers are replacing the other things. So you have the mayor that brings in new customers. You have the captain that has everyone sell games in bulk to get money. The prospector just gets you money, right? So that would work perfectly in a thing like this. So yeah, so the basic idea is the buildings are things that support the hobby. And then the plantations are the actual things you're specializing in, right? And then it's just Puerto Rico. Right? You're picking your action. Everyone's taking their actions, and you're just trying to build a good game store. Again, this comes from the Watergate thing, except more strong here, to where I just want Puerto Rico to be a game that everyone plays. Mm-hmm. And people don't play it until you're in the hobby and you hear it's good. And you're like, oh, I'll try it then. And you play it and you're like, yeah, this is great. I should tell more people. You tell someone else and they go, I don't know, I'll try it. And then eventually they try it. They go, oh, it is good. And it just spreads by word of mouth because no one picks this game up off the shelf. Right. In the modern day hobby. So that's my way to try to make it more interesting to people so that it can get grabbed off shelves more. Because I say this all the time. I don't believe in evergreen games. I think that things age very quickly, and things like, I'm not trying to be cult of the new. I just think that things get better, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
But Puerto Rico stands the test of time. That game is amazing to this day. It's technically breakable. I know I've read the articles on how you can break it. I've never had that happen, so I don't care. So anyway, that's me. Let's turn Puerto Rico into game night.
It sounds like a fun meta game that would be better than like Shelfie Stacker. That's like the other meta game that it's not themed on
Sure.
anything, right? But it's like a meta theme, right, for the game. Like, oh, I'm trying to store my board games. Ugh. Yeah, I'd play game night or whatever you want to call it, game store, FLGS. Just call it that, right?
Whatever. It doesn't need a meta name, it can be whatever. That was what the working title of the other thing was, so I knew what I was talking about.
Right.
And yes, everyone that's saying it, I know that Puerto Rico did recently have a remake. That's awesome. It's still the same game though. And people pick that up and it's not their first pick. That's all I'm saying. Like when people are new to the hobby, they're not buying well-made tan Euros. That's not what they're buying when they're new to the hobby. They're playing their friends' copies of tan Euros, So let's get more people to grab Puerto Rico off the shelf.
You are correct.
Nice. That's a good one. That is a good one. And the correct assessment. I mean, like, yeah, you don't really know about that game until you're into the hobby. It's never been like a gateway game. Maybe years ago it was.
Nobody's getting into the hobby today and they're like, Puerto Rico was the first game I played. Like, no.
Right.
Okay. So this one was already mentioned in the chat. It is a game I love. It is ranked very high. It has done very well. But this theme is just not really that great.
I know what it is.
And that's why we're going to go ahead and retheme Caverna.
I knew it.
Yeah, I mean, the cave farmers.
Hell yeah. Dwarves come home.
Cave farmers.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely want to play that. This is one of my favorite worker placement games of all time.
What's a favorite?
It's my flavor of favorite. Nice try, though. So here's what we're going to roll with. We've talked about this on a previous stream. This is an IP I love, and we've just decided to slap two things I love together, and that is South Park's Underpants Gnomes. South Park Underpants Gnomes are famous for 1, collect underpants, 2, question mark, 3, get profit. Nobody know what they do to get money, so they're going to become cave farmers, and we're going to give them like buildings that they can build to like make money. So South Park Underpants Gnomes, the game. Caverna the Cave Farmers.
No, so let me just help you out real quick, Mike, because you don't want to spoil the meta, right? You don't want to spoil the joke of question mark.
Right.
So what you do is you lay out the theme in the rule book.
Ooh.
There's a box full of components, and then for the rules, it's question mark, goal of the game, make money. So you've got a board and everybody's just got to figure it out. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to put this guy here and that's going to give me 3 doodle bops. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get some boxer briefs out of Dan's drawer. And then I'm going to go over here and off of Mike's bathroom floor, I got some stained tidy whities. I'm going to grab those. I'm going to go over to Tim's house and get his silk Speedos. And then, that gives me $1 million. I win, just leave it all out. I also named everybody's underwear. You're welcome.
I love the suggestion of just calling it step 2.
Step 2.
I love that, Jeff. So literally I just wrote down Caverna and then I wrote down step 1, step 2, step 3. That's what I put down for the list. Just, fantastic game. Again, I mean, just if you haven't played Caverna, definitely do. It doesn't look like a great game, but I swear to you, it's so good.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you want a worker placement game where you truly just feel like you can do whatever you want and still be profitable, it's Caverna and it's Feast for Odin,
Mhm.
right? You can just do
Love
whatever you
both
want
of them.
and you'll get there. This is the I'll say this. This is the first pick that makes me less interested in the game.
Everybody knows Dan doesn't wear underpants. He hates underpants.
Yes.
It's
I am
terrifying.
in the massive minority here. I get it. I just I do not give a single step about South Park. So.
That is a shame. That is a shame. Well, and as we've learned tonight, Dan definitely does not like fun. So, moving on to number 2. Tim, it's up to you.
That rhymed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that
Ooh.
Dan, like me, is waiting for a really good Blade Runner board game.
I tried to get one on this list and I didn't. Yeah. So what you got?
So it's a little bit of a stretch, but I thought like how could. Well, I was thinking about this game, and I'm like, what would I retheme it? And Blade Runner came to mind.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
You had
deception,
the game first. Okay.
deception, murder in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Except instead of trying to find the killer, you're trying to find the replicant. I don't know
Right.
how we would exactly incorporate like the void comp test where but it would be something. It would be something. Yeah, enhance.
Yeah, where you
Um,
enhance. that's the test.
But like when you're playing the clues down, right? When you're to
right.
you know, so instead of finding like a murder weapon and then evidence left behind at the scene, right? A clue left behind at the scene, it would be like 2 of the things that you would get wrong on the void comp test, right? So it could be like you see a turtle, you know, on its back in the middle of a highway or whatever that what question is, you know, what do you
Right.
do? And so anyways, I don't know exactly how you incorporate it, but it would be so cool to have like a deduction game, like a good deduction game where you're really trying to figure out who
Replicate.
you know, the replicant. I was like, why? It's like, it's not a droid. It's not a cyborg. You got to really try to figure out who the replicant is. And if you could really make it like perfect, it would be the replicant doesn't always know who the replicant is. So maybe what is happening is everybody points to 2 things. And then the person who is giving the test and giving the clues is, picks who they are. They basically they've got like a card for each player, like one,
Right.
you know, 1 through 6. And it's like, I'm going to put number 5 down underneath,
Yeah,
like
okay.
here, so I can show. So the
That
person doesn't
instantly
even,
got more interesting.
so the person doesn't even know that they're a replicant. It makes
Right,
it
they're
way
using
better.
the clues to figure out who it is.
Yeah, like, oh guys, I think it's me.
I think
what I
it's
mean?
me.
Like how much fun would that be? That would be really fun.
That's instantly more interesting for sure. Like while you were explaining it, I was thinking about like before you got to that part, I was thinking about but like the whole not knowing thing needs to be in there. So like maybe you could do something to where the person giving the clues is either a replicant or not. And depending on how they answer the things by putting the clues out, you're trying to deduce if they're human or not. But like now you're in a different game. So like I was trying to, and then you said that and I was like, yep, that's it. Like instantly you just change the rule to where even the person doesn't know. Right. So each person wakes up one at a time and points at 2 things.
Yes.
And then the storyteller, whatever it's called in that game, chooses one person and those things and is giving clues towards those things, and everyone has to figure out who it is. That's an interesting twist on it.
Yeah,
sure.
and it could be like where the person giving the clues also is maybe there's a chance that they're either a replicant or a Blade Runner themselves. So
I think that's in one of the expansions.
So
where
then
the storyteller can be evil too.
So then you've got to then decide, like, can you trust the storyteller? Because, you know, can you trust that person? Are they trying to get me to not guess the replicant, like on purpose? So who have all these things been opposite of? I don't know. There'd probably be a good way to do it, but I just really want a good Blade Runner game.
I know.
And
I
think a
just
deduction
want
version.
A game about Blade Runner where the whole point is deducing whether you're a replicant or not. It's such an important part. Honestly, same thing with Battlestar Galactica, right? They both have that same idea.
Yes.
Am I a Cylon or not? Right?
Yes.
Like in Battlestar Galactica, great game, but like, you know, if you're a Cylon. And like that takes a big part of the cool lore away from Battlestar Galactica and Blade Runner, where you don't know if you're one or not. So anyway, yeah, I agree.
I agree with you too, David. I don't think Decker was a replicant.
Depends on which version you watch.
Yeah, and
I need to watch the one with the really good voiceover.
Yeah, the one that Harrison hates. I own Chameleon, haven't played it yet. But
I can't remember if I played it.
Give me any game that is a really good on theme Blade Runner game, and I'm in. We've played one Blade Runner game and it was lackluster.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, but it didn't capture the theme the way I wanted it to.
Nah, it was kind of pasted on. but anyways, I want a good Blade Runner game.
Okay. My number is this 2? Okay.
Number 2.
Cards that says humans and a couple of replicant, and you get things to look at cards in your deck to see. Sure, something like that. You're almost getting into like good cop, bad cop territory, where you have like cards in front of you, and some are good, some are evil, and whichever you have more of, you're that, right? Blah blah blah. Okay, so my number 2, I think it is again, this is kind of like Marvel Champions, to where I don't have a lot to say about this one. This is the game that is very well regarded. Some could even say it was number 1 on BGG for a very long time, and I just don't like it that much. Sorry, Bob. And that's Gloomhaven or Frosthaven. I just don't get into it. I had a good time when we played Frosthaven. I like playing as my character, but I never go, like, when I'm not playing the game, I never go, oh, I can't wait to play Frosthaven again, like a lot of people do, where they just love it. I think the card play is amazing, right? So how do I get myself more interested? Well, they added snow. I'm slightly more interested.
That helps.
But the obvious choice now is, okay, so they're going to do sci-fi next, right? Whether it's Space Haven or Tech Haven or something, right? They're going to do space at some point. They're making $8 billion per game, so they're going to run through as many themes as they can with this system. Space interests me quite a bit. I know that makes other people hate it instantly, but I like it. Okay, so now
just
we have
Katie,
a
it's okay.
I know. Now we have a cooperative, turn-based strategy game with hex-based movement. Okay, I want the best XCOM game ever made. That's what I want. I love the XCOM video games. I like the XCOM board game, but it's missing a gigantic part of XCOM, which is, the turn-based combat.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point, like, the XCOM board game is great, but you're only doing the base side of it. You're doing the real-time base stuff where you're setting everything up, you're sending your Sky Rangers to do everything, and it's fun. But let's get a really cool XCOM shooter where everyone is a member of the squad and you're going through and everything. And, when you die, that character's gone. There's the customization of the character. The point is, I want a great XCOM game. I want Gloomhaven to be interesting. Let's combine two things and make a great game. So that's all I have to say.
Dan, let me pitch this to you.
Okay.
How about instead of retheming Gloomhaven with XCOM, because that would totally work and be great. But what if we did Descent 3rd Edition, but as XCOM?
Descent 3rd Edition?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Any of those games would work.
Oh, sure. Right? Yeah, it totally would. I've just played Descent 3rd Edition more.
Yeah. It's just that the Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, right, are so... Hey, my lighting just got better because my PC went into night mode, so there's a slight yellow tint coming on. It's just that Frosthaven is so well loved and so well regarded. It's a great system. I get it. I want to do the turn-based shooting combat of XCOM and then go into the base building stuff, right? Like in Gloomhaven, in between fights, you go back to your base, you level up the city, right? So in XCOM, you're building med base, you're building all these things, right? To bring in more people, you're adding mutations to your soldiers, which can make them way more powerful, but also sometimes their mutation glitches out. So now you have this new thing in a Gloomhaven type game to where I activate this ability and I can mind control an enemy, but there's a chance that I make my ally panic, right? And he attacks an ally and stuff like that. Stuff is in XCOM a lot.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to go too deep into this because you guys understand the point. just take a Gloomhaven type game, make it XCOM, give me the best XCOM game ever made, please. I'm dying.
But are you the best at Star Trek? That's what we want to say. What's up, man? Good to see you.
Hi.
That's all. That's all.
I could go for that. I could go for any theme for that game as well. And I kind of got the same, like the card play is fun when I play it, but yeah, I'm not like, oh man,
Right.
can't wait for Frosthaven again.
Now, I think here's the flip of that though, right? And the intriguing thing, and I've not played a ton of Gloomhaven and zero Frosthaven, even though I own both. The thing though with those games is the way that your characters advance and progress and like the branching stories, right? So that's the appeal. And XCOM totally provides that, like if you play the video games and stuff like that. I played a few of the video games and just upset. Like I get so angry and depressed when like a character that I
When
built
someone
up
dies.
yeah, dies.
You name them. Yeah, it's like, oh no, Billy Bob died. No, he's been with me since the beginning.
So yeah, I get it.
I love seeing how much Bob's into it on the side here comments, because he's like, oh yeah, outpost phase could be building up your base and research labs.
Research labs. Yeah,
He's totally getting it. Yeah.
Bob is totally ground whatever gear he was working on way too low now, because he's like just watching. There's just sparks flying everywhere.
Right.
You know, hopefully he's wearing protective gloves.
Bob never wears protection.
Well,
He's just raw
guess I
dogging
better
them
pour
gears.
another.
He's just raw dogging them gears. Oh.
Oh boy.
I like that one.
Oh, that's good.
That was just me
good
now
stuff.
too. Now it's Mike's turn. Not
Wow.
sure for that.
Okay,
There's a lot
so
hairier. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, I'm about to drop a number 2 on the theme of this game.
Okay.
This might be the dumbest theme I've ever heard of for any game ever, but I love this designer.
It's
I
Scout.
bought this game and I have read the rules, and I'm actually super pumped to play it because it looks good. And some people rate it very high, like Jason from the Board Game Mechanics. And this is Stefan Feld's Bonfire.
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Now, let's just go into what the theme of this game is. Gnomes struggle to reignite mystical bonfires to bring light to their dark planet. Really? That's what we're doing here? Really?
Okay, you
All
like
right.
dwarves, but not gnomes? What's
Let's-
going on here, Michael?
Let's continue. The bonfires are sources of light, energy, and warmth created by the guardians of light in order to brighten the cities on the otherwise dark planet. The residents of the cities, however, took the bonfires for granted and exploited them for their personal gain. Disappointed, the guardians of light retreated and let the bonfires extinguish. The citizens could no longer live in the now dark cities and were forced to leave. You are a group of gnomes living close to the cities, and you also need the light of the bonfires. Missing it now, you try yourself to visit the cities and learn how to ignite the bonfires once again. Really? This is what we're doing?
I'll be honest, Mike. This just sounds like G-rated Dark Souls.
I mean, what are we doing with this theme? Who are we attracting to this game with this? I mean, obviously, and I know the themes on a lot of Feld games are pasted on. I don't care. They're amazing games, so that's fine. And I'm still excited to play this game. But really? This is the best they could come up with?
No, wait, show me that box cover again, because I don't
It's
see
got a
gnomes
pretty-
on that box cover.
No, this must be the guardian of the light that you're trying to get to visit you by lighting the bonfire.
Right.
Because, like, let me show you a game with a similar theme, but the theme is way better. I'm gonna show you the box cover.
God, what gnome game does Tim own?
I'm just
Oh.
telling you, you are trying to relight the menhirs or whatever they're called. And because they give light to the other regions, and you can go around and do different things. And super good, crunchy, hard game with an amazing theme. I've heard good things about Bonfire, but that theme sounds
Right?
so dumb.
Like,
so dumb.
So I gotta show you. You've got basically. Oh, that's not it. I'll find them. Grogu meeples in the background there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Hey.
Damn Grogu meeples.
Grogu's.
So I mean, could we just make this a Star Wars theme? Yeah. How about let's just make this a Star Wars theme? I mean, you got Grogu meeples. So
Halfway
I mean,
there.
you're placing these things on your player board, and the more color tiles you can get to connect, the more action tokens you get of that color. And then you're taking those action tokens and you're trying to do these actions out on the board.
Yeah,
the
I'm
more
trying to
action
reunite
tokens
the
you have,
Mandalorians.
the more action tokens you have, these little things that you're collecting, the stronger your action gets. So it's a totally pasted on theme. I just want to see literally anything being done with this. But it looks so cool. It's got these contract fulfillment where you got to go out here and grab these contracts, and then when you fill them, you light the bonfire on your player board, and then you get benefits from the central board depending on what angle it's pointing at. And there's these cards at the bottom that are these special actions you can do. It just sounds really, really cool.
So, Mike, really, the Star Wars theme, you are lighting the fires of the rebellion. Like literally, that's all you have to do. You could do that. You're igniting the hope. You are getting like, oh, I filled this contract. I lit this bonfire. So now there is a rebel insurgency on whatever planet. You need to get enough. You need to be. And again, they have done a good job of showing you in the shows, in all the shows that have come out, like Andor and things like that, that not all of the rebel insurgent groups agree on everything, right? They got different tactics and different ways they want to do things. So, I mean, everybody can be their own rebel faction, and I mean, you can make it really interesting.
I would, I think you really could. I think you could make that IP work for this game, because if you can make this theme work for this game, you can make any theme work for this game.
That is true. That is the goofiest ass theme I have ever heard.
I'm trying to avoid drowning the market with Star Wars games.
Okay.
I know, same. But like, I mean, give me anything. Like I'm still very excited to try this one. I know Jason has it in like his top 10, for example. So can't wait. I'm gonna try to maybe force it on a buddy this weekend.
Yeah, the Saw Gerrera. Yeah, I love it.
All right. So here we go, Tim. We're down to our last game that needs a new theme. That's a ticker. That is not that other cool thing. And I knew that. I just wanted to catch you off guard.
Classic.
Because, yes, that's right. Numero uno.
Okay, so this is oh god. This is another theme. Now there's actually some good games for it, but 2 years ago, like when Dan and I first became friends and we were talking about games and like themes and games we wanted, Dan and I always really wanted like really fun, immersive, alien themed.
I was just talking about that earlier today.
Board games. So Dan and I, we used to like literally ride to filming and talk about like, oh, I wish that, because Dan and I both love those movies. We love that IP. We love that universe and everything. And so I was looking at a game that I love, and it's like, you could do an alien theme with this, and not like not the Prospero Hall, like alien game. Not there's anything wrong with those. Like I love that there's those games out. And actually that Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core, that game's hard and really fun. I have the Prospero Hall alien game, but I haven't played it yet. I got it.
Me too. You're talking about the cooperative.
Right? Yeah. So, but I thought, like, how much fun would it be if you were more like I don't know. It's not really reflected in any of the Alien movies, but what if everybody in the on this ship was like out for themselves and just trying to survive?
Sure.
And or maybe you're trying to get your faction of people on this space station to survive. So Downfall of Pompeii, but it's aliens. So you spend your the first half of the game. So in Downfall of Pompeii, you spend the first half of the game colonizing the city. You're putting your family members all throughout Pompeii, blah blah blah. You know, and the more family members, potentially the more points you can get. But then the cataclysm happens, right? The omen cards come out, the volcano then erupts, and so it's blocking off entrances. It's not yet.
Ooh, tough scene.
Messing with me, you guys. So I appreciate the solidarity. But anyway, so in Downfall of Pompeii, right? You know, lava's coming out and it's blocking exits. The lava is burning up people's family members. You're throwing them in the volcano. So in this one, you could be colonists of LV-426 or whatever.
I was gonna say, easiest thing ever. Yeah, it's Hadley's Hope.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is.
And basically, you're colonizing. You're putting out your family members throughout the whole colony,
Yep.
and then we found that ship with the with the eggs on it. Bad times. So now the aliens are overrunning parts of the colony and blocking off parts of the colony. And then when that alien tile comes out and goes over one of your family members, they don't go into the volcano like you would in Pompeii, but they go into the hive. You know, they go into the reactor core, right, where they had everybody, glued up against the walls with that awesome, nasty biomass stuff. But anyways, it'd be a really fun way to retheme it. It's you could still do the same thing, right? Everybody's still trying to escape Hadley's Hope, and everybody's trying to get out. It's a great way to put eyes on a game that I love. People are not like Downfall of Pompeii shows up for like $20, like once a year on Amazon, super cheap. Everybody should just go out and freaking buy that game. It's so much fun. It's light. It's goofy. It's very take that, we have fun, like tormenting each other as we're throwing our meeples or our little cubes into the volcano. But
I require sound effects.
Yeah. But the alien theme might actually bring some other people into it, right? And they might have fun getting to sort of be the alien and like snatch up other people's family members, right? And throw them in the reactor where the main hive is. So Downfall of Pompeii, it would just be the downfall of Hadley's Hope,
Downfall of Hadley's Hope.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That is a very clever theme implementation on a very bad game.
But Dan, would you play that?
I mean, I'd give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care.
Wow.
You're
It's
wrong.
not like, I don't actually hate the game. I just think it's pretty boring. It's fine.
Oh, I love Downfall. Downfall of Pompeii is so much fun.
I enjoy it. I actually like that theme a lot, and I'm typically not into historical themes, but that historical theme in particular I intrigues me, and it fits the theme super well. But then earlier, when I was doing this list, I was looking at the box, and I'm like, man, I wonder if there would be a way to spruce this up. Nah, I think it fits the game, but I still like what you did with it.
It's a testament to Tim's idea. The fact that all he said was Pompeii being alien. I went, dude, Hadley's Hope. Like it just fits so well that my brain instantly went there,
Right. And that's the thing though. When I was going over this list, it was also though, like knowing who I'm pitching the list to. Right. So since we actually had Dan tonight, and it's like, oh no, Dan and I both love this IP like a lot, right? Like we love this, we love Alien, we love Blade Runner. Dan and I have a lot of similar tastes, except for like good games. But
you'll get there someday.
But like our friendship was forged like not just it started because of board games, but then we really forged it because we were able to just dig in really deep into these movies and IPs that we love. And we don't always see eye to eye on every single one of them, but the debate and the conversations, so much fun, and I love it. I cherish that. And so again, to have like an awesome like way to sort of implement that.
I gotta switch hands apparently. I have my camera on like reverse mode, so like I don't know what hand to use. So I'm just gonna make sure we've got do I have the thumb finger thing right? Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up? Oh, hey Tim.
I was just like Bill Clintoning that whole thing.
Oh,
I did not have
Bob
sexual
Dole.
relations with that woman. But no, man, just an awesome theme, a movie I love anyways. I just listened to a podcast about that movie today and like still
Wait,
what?
sorry, Tim, were you insinuating that the Monica Lewinsky scandal should be used for the Watergate theme? Is that what you were insinuating?
Sure. You gotta get to that dress. You got Linda Tripp. You got Linda Tripp over here. Here's the thing though, Mike, is that people don't care about political history and politics and how important it is to today. So no,
that's Star Wars, baby.
You make it Star Wars.
Marvel, what?
Yeah. But okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know if you guys have said this before, but everyone can say hi to Matt, our editor, is in the comments right now.
What's up,
Hi,
Matt? Also,
I don't think there is one.
I'm just gonna thank Matt in advance for having the studio like all set up and ready to go for Sunday when we show up to film. I am really excited to try out the new. I know, right? But I'm really excited to try out those new cameras. Those new cameras look baller. I put a picture of them in the Discord. And you can see me CGI in one of the photos thanks to one.
There's a Risk Halo. There you go.
There is a Risk Halo. Yeah, there does
I
need to be a good
forgot
Halo
about
game.
this. There was a Bang Halo.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember seeing this before. Published by the Op. Bang Halo.
Published by
There you go,
Op.
Matt. Yeah,
That's weird.
that's what it says.
Yeah,
sure it's
Halo.
out yet?
Here's the problem. That TV show did not do very well, so there's not going to be a game for a while.
They should never show Master Chief's face, right?
Yeah. Wait, they should instantly show his face? Is that what you said? Okay.
Oh, there's a Monopoly Halo, but we all do that.
Yeah, there's a Monopoly everything.
Yeah.
There's a Monopoly board game rundown. I mean, I'd buy it.
Yeah, see this.
Oh,
guy says,
wow,
yeah,
I heard that.
Nazi, exactly. There's all those for sure. Okay, I think that makes it my turn. Hey guys, this is an outlier on my list because this is both a great game with a great theme. And honestly, I just want to retheme it so that I can have more of this game with a different theme that I like. This is also a bit cult of the new. I get it. I swear to you, I put like 2 hours into trying to think of a game that would work good with this theme, and I just kept falling back on this
And
one.
that is literally all the time Dan had to work on this list.
Yeah,
because of how late
almost.
we chose it.
So War of the Ring, the card game, right? Reviewed it
Awesome.
recently.
Awesome.
I really liked it. I literally want to play it again right now. I really like that game. So what is War of the Ring, the card game? Well, it is a team-based card game that has two things that you're fighting over. It has battlegrounds where you send warriors, and it has paths where you send warriors, but like it's for a different reason. You're trying to follow the story and you're trying to win the battles. Those
So
are the
this
two
is
things you're trying to do.
Nixon versus the Democrats in the Watergate era. Oh wait,
No,
retheme
I'm
War
gonna-
of the Ring to Watergate.
I was going to retheme a Star Wars game into Watergate. So you just wait for that. So that's the goal of the game, and it has a very deep card system where timing matters. You're playing these characters you know and love, and you're doing what they do, and they're interacting with each other. Okay, so that's the premise. What is something that doesn't have a good board game that Dan really likes? So Tim said recently he played for the crowd. He picked Alien because he knew I'd react to it. I doubt you guys, either of you, care about this, but I love Dragon Ball Z. So I took War of the Ring, the card game, and I said I want it to be Dragon Ball Z, right? So you have your different factions. You have the Z Fighters, you have the androids in Cell, you have the Frieza Force, you have Boo, however you want to split these up, like, because the androids in Cell start out as evil, but then some become heroes. So how you do that, like, there could be cards in the Z Fighters deck that, like, so, you played the Krillin card, and now you've got Android 18 onto your side. That card gets shuffled into your deck now instead of your opponent's, right? Like, that is something really fascinating you can do. Cell absorbs people. So you play Cell, and you have literally absorbed another character, and now you're more powerful, for instance. You can literally have a thing to where, so in the War of the Ring, the card game, you have Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White, right? Once you play Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Grey's out of the deck. That's like all Dragon Ball Z is. You have Cell Form 1. Once you play Cell Form 2, Cell Form 1 is out of the game. He's done. Once you play Final Form Cell, the other ones are out of the game. They're done, right?
Is there a character that you play that just like spends 80% of the game just powering up for one attack?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
just checking.
There'd be quite a bit of that. Once you go Super Saiyan, right? So you play Goku. Once you can get Goku to go Super Saiyan, Goku's out of the game. You're Super Saiyan Goku now, right? And he's stronger at some things, weaker at some things, right? Like there is so much here that fits really well in this card fighting system. Oh, and what I was going to say too was, so the two ways to win, right? Of course, the battlegrounds, you're fighting, right? You're sending Goku, you're fighting Frieza, you're doing all this stuff. Okay, so now we have the path to deal with. Well, guys, what would the path be in Dragon Ball Z? Oh, you're collecting the Dragon Balls, right? Each path you win gets you a Dragon Ball, right? So you have the 4, you have the 3. The cards that reactivate the paths that bring them back out is you taking the 4th one back and stuff like that, right? So in War of the Ring, if you're ever 10 points ahead of the other team, you instantly win. How do you instantly win in this game? If you get all 8 Dragon Balls on your side of the field, you just wish for victory. I wish I win this game. Boom. You win the game instantly, right? You collect all the Dragon Balls. This works so well the more I think about it. And Dragon Ball Z just doesn't have any good games. There's supposed to be an Angry Joe one by Jazzco eventually, but there's been rights mishaps happening with that, where I don't think they're still making it. I hope they're still making the Mortal Kombat one, but it looks like they've lost the right to Dragon Ball Z one. So anyway, I think I'm just going to call it there. You've heard my pleading cries. I really like the idea of fighting over the battles and fighting for the Dragon Balls. If you can get all the Dragon Balls, you win. You're playing all these cards that are literally evolving as you're going through it. The hardest part to me is picking who's on what faction, because if you're going to do War of the Ring, you still need the 4 teams. That's the hard part, because if you just play 2-player, well, that's easy. It's the good guys versus the bad guys. Okay, now you need 2 good guy factions. How do you split those up? Blah blah blah.
I think, like, didn't the Avatar Rising, Fire Nation Rising, I feel like they did an okay job of dividing
the good guys into more than one team.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean, so you could kind of take some steps with that. I fully admit that Dragon Ball Z is a IP that I just could not get into.
It's so good.
But it hit me at the wrong time in my life. I have friends that are my age that are just as obsessed with it. So I will never say, oh, I'm too old for that or whatever. But it hit its peak popularity at a time where, like, that was the farthest thing I was interested in. But there's no denying, like, the power of that IP at all. So I would definitely play it, because sometimes playing a game in an IP has gotten me to want to go and watch the show or read the books.
It's definitely done that for me.
So, hell yeah, like, make that badass game. So then I'll be like, I need to go, like, actually check this out. Because here's the thing is, like, I'm definitely open to that sort of stuff because of my kids, because it's like, oh, if I can sit and watch, like, watch Dragon Ball Z with my kids and they're going to get into it. Like, my daughter right now is getting into Avatar. big time. I have still not seen one episode of Avatar, but she is like deep into it and loving it. But like I got Clark to sit and watch the Mandalorian finale with me, and he sat and he watched the whole thing just because he is getting so into Star Wars right now. And it's hard to get him to sit for 25, 30 minutes, you know, through like a whole show. So to get him into it, like, hey, if Dragon Ball Z, like if my kids were getting into Dragon Ball Z and I played this game and I'm like, okay, I know some stuff. Like, let me sit down and get into this. I'm here for it. So,
well, yeah, and the big thing too is obviously it's true. I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a lot younger. It has not aged well as far as like the pacing of the show. It's rough. You know, like there's the classic joke coming from Tim who like hasn't seen it, right? There's the classic joke of each fight takes 90 episodes and the characters just scream for 89 of them. You know, That's true. And that's why there is a version you can buy called Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is the voice actors of the show remade the show. Like they revoiced it. They made it more grown up. They rewrote the things and they cut out all the filler. It's just the good stuff now. And I love being able to watch it again, and it feels like it would have felt for me back then, right? Because if I tried to rewatch Dragon Ball Z now, I wouldn't be able to stand it, right?
Oh,
exactly.
sure.
That's why they made DBZ Kai, exactly. Like I own the Cell saga on Kai because that's my favorite saga, and I just love that I can watch it. Oh, guys. This is another gene again. I just need to shut up because there's so much that works well in this game. Like a small thing is like, guess what? Vegeta and Goku can't fight at the same arena because Vegeta's fucking embarrassed. Like, you know, like he always gets shown up by Goku, so you can't send him to the main arena. But here's the thing that I wanted to say, right? Oh, Gohan goes to an arena to fight. Well, guess what? If Goku is in your eliminated pile, if you've already eliminated Goku, you get to respawn him on Gohan for the father-son Kamehameha one time, right? Like get the best moment in all of Dragon Ball Z thematically because Goku has already died and has been eliminated. And now Gohan's fighting. And the only way to make Gohan more powerful is for his father to visit him in spirit form and help him. Like there's so much you can do in the War of the Ring card game version that I want to see a good Dragon Ball Z game. I thought about it for like 2 hours. This is where it sits. I think a great card game. So
nice.
Anyway,
hey, I'm down for it. Let me just say, so David, my daughter is in 5th grade, so it sounds like the timing is pretty close, right, for when they got into it. And Andrew, I will say that I have only watched the Netflix Cowboy Bebop show, and I freaking loved it. Like I was here for it. I've watched 0 of the anime, but I am here for some Cowboy Bebop. And Dan, your version of War of the Ring, which I absolutely love War of the Ring. I like the Lord of the Rings movies quite a bit. I read the books one time ages ago. It is not a series that I've gone back and revisited like other people. Unfortunately, I'm the kind of guy that goes back and rereads Game of Thrones. It's a lot bloodier and nastier and more horrible and depressing, but that's just the punishing that I do to myself. But yeah, like Dan, I feel like because what happened is we played the War of the Ring, the card game, and then I went home and watched the Fellowship of the Ring extended edition.
Yep.
And Clark watched it with me. He was into it. Well, and they talk, he gets bored, wanders off, but it's long enough he can come back. You know, he comes back and they're fighting and they're doing stuff and he's like back into it. So, you know, and then we watched some of the Two Towers because both of my kids really want to see Gollum because they think Gollum is really cool and scary. But anyways, I'm down for it because I feel like your version of that game would do the same thing. I'd be like, okay, I got to watch some Dragon Ball Z. And then it's like, oh, you can watch the Kai version and it's shorter, right? Like,
yep,
it's
much shorter.
It's compressed and it makes sense. Like, I'm here for it. I'm down. I'm always down for new IPs and getting introduced to new things and fandoms and everything. So,
Mike, I assume you hate Dragon Ball Z by your silence. So let's move on to you.
I don't know anything about it. I've never looked into it. I've never known nothing about it. I know the 2 names you mentioned. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Good.
So there's no dislike. It's just don't know, no opinion.
Andrew, I will say that I've only watched the Netflix Cowboy Bebop, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it start to finish. Had a great time with it. And then, yes, David, the extended edition versions of Lord of the Rings, where you could just like sit and kind of like soak in that universe, really good.
I when I was in high school, a couple friends and I watched all 3 extended editions in a row, like in one day, and it's just it's a rough life decision, but I get to say that I did it.
That is a day.
Yeah.
That is every waking hour. No, but they're really good. I enjoy those movies quite a bit. I saw them all in the theater multiple times. I just really liked what it did for the fantasy genre.
Yeah.
As far as movies go at the time, because as a D&D player in, all through the 90s and into the early 2000s, and there was nothing like that represented, right?
Yeah.
So to see Lord of the Rings really come out and get that resurgence, like, because at that time everybody loved Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, but and I tried to watch Cobra Kai. I've watched a couple episodes. I've never really got into it. I might go back and try to watch again. My wife has watched a bunch of seasons of it and seems to like it.
I liked it.
I hear good things, but I just don't care about Karate Kid, honestly. Like, it's a fine movie, but I don't understand getting into like the lore of Karate Kid.
I don't need Danny Russo to be the bad guy. It's a funny joke on How I Met Your Mother, because they love Billy Zabka.
Sure.
But and David, I will say I've not seen the new D&D movie. I tried really hard to get my kids to go see it with me, but they wanted to see the Mario movie, so I saw that instead. But the second I get a chance, I am watching the new D&D movie. I love Chris Pine.
Yeah, I really want to see it. I've heard really good things from the people I know that have seen it.
All of my friends that are into D&D that have seen it loved it. And they're like, it's actually good. Because I saw that one with Marlon Wayans and Jeremy Irons. I went and saw that sucker in the theaters and was like, okay, I guess this is what we get. So, yeah. Anyways,
there you go.
I know we were trying to throw to Mike, and I I just stomped on that. But I guess Mike, you can talk now if you want.
Okay.
And on to Tim.
Yeah.
So, all right.
My new number one.
This is a game I've talked about where I feel like the theme has always held this game back. And I think it was ahead of its time because this is a hybrid game that very much combines, when this game came out, Ameritrash and Euro mechanics. Because this game is Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem. This is a show based on a very violent motorcycle club. So you wouldn't expect this to be a very good worker placement game.
I've heard this a lot.
This is a worker placement game where you're moving your guys to a location, but you can't use it right away because other people have the opportunity to move to that same location. And then that location is contested and you can't use it. You have to have sole ownership of that location before you can exploit it. And so you have to fight somebody and actually use guns to kill some of their people to get them off of that tile so that they leave and then you can use the tile. And so you do this through 6 rounds and whoever has the most money wins. Now, I admit these days the only things that I really like to read anymore are nonfiction. Like I read to learn things or like I watch a lot of documentaries. When I want to learn something. Give me a twist on an old story I haven't known in forever. When I was a kid, I read a lot of fiction. And one of my favorite books of all time is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is my favorite book of all time. And so what I would do is I would make this an alternate prequel to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What I would do is we are building up. We are planets that are vying to get our planet destroyed by the intergalactic superhighway. We want our planet to get totally blown up So we're going around these different planets and we're exploiting them and we're trying to get money and we're willing to kill anybody that steps in our way. Any other planet, any other race, any faction. Hey, if you want to go to war over this location, sure. Because my bid, if I have the most money at the end of the game, the intergalactic superhighway will go through our planet and everybody on it will be destroyed in 2 minutes.
So you're
this is what we're building up money for.
You're trying to get the Vogan construction fleet to then go through your... This is one of my all-time favorite books. This is one of my sister's favorite books. This
I love
must
this
be
book.
genetic. My dad loves this book. Like, we all are huge fans. And that's why, again, like we talk about the full 42, the meaning of that title, you know, and everything. Wow, you went with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy theme.
I went with it, and I did an alternate universe prequel even. We are exploiting these planets to get money and to get laser zappers, and then we're going to go to war over this. We're going to go to war over getting our planet destroyed because the importance of trading a little piece of green paper is way too important.
Dude,
That's
something
so
like that.
serious when he said that.
Something like
Because
that.
the importance.
Listen, like,
I knew this would be a home run.
Douglas Adams, like, his humor, his sense of humor and everything is just, it's so good. It is so good. And I say this as like a fan of Mel Brooks and a fan of Monty Python. But the sarcasm of Douglas Adams, it's just the best. It is the best.
And this game is good. I mean, worker placement, moving other guys, resource management. You're like trading stuff to sell it. And so like at the end of every round, there's this market phase. And if more people, you blindly submit how many resources you want to sell. If too many resources are traded, they're not worth as much. So like there's a cutoff there. Like if there's a 3-player game and we all put 7 resources in, crap, they're only going to sell for 1. But if it's 6 or less, they may sell for 2. And if there's only 3 or less, they may sell for 3 apiece. So you're like, crap, okay, I don't think Dan has been collecting a whole lot of this resource. Tim has been collecting it all game, but does he want to try to get the price down? There's a really interesting market mechanic in this game that nobody would think has cool mechanics.
I used to hear I think it was Sam Healy on Dice Tower used to talk just the crap out of this game. Like he would say he would say it's amazing, but I really don't want to have to shoot somebody in front of a strip club. like that's,
you're going to businesses and you're exploiting them, and you're literally buying guns or selling guns and then fighting. And so yeah, the appeal of this game to a lot of gamers, I think, just wasn't there. Even though pretty much the reviews have been positive, I still just don't think the appeal to this game is there because of the theme. And I think you attach a solid sci-fi theme like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Are you kidding? Sign me up.
My buddy Pete loves this game. He loves the Sons
that
of
makes
Anarchy
sense.
game. It does make sense. He rides he rides a Harley. He's got a big beard. He's all tatted up, all that good stuff. But he does love this game, and I have only ever heard good things about this game.
You start with basic workers. You get more powerful workers that have a higher strength in battle. All of your resources are secret, so you don't know who has the most money. You don't know who actually, well, maybe you remember who has a gun, whether they're willing to use that gun in battle to eliminate one of your guys. You have to remember how much of those resources people are holding, because then you've got that market phase. It's so good. It really is. It just a theme would do wonders for this game. Really would.
And I will say to David's comment, the Eric Lang Godfather game is actually pretty good.
It's actually
It is.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's on theme. It makes sense.
It would fit this game
it's a lot of fun.
in a sense, like
It's
killing the guys and they float in the Hudson.
Toss them in the river.
You're doing a similar thing here. It's actually a very
totally
similar
outside.
mechanic. But this one's pretty good too. I'd suggest checking it out, especially if you like the Godfather game. It's very similar.
Give me a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy board game. I don't care. I don't care. Take my money.
Yeah,
Take
that's
my money.
That's kind of what I thought. I felt like that theme worked extremely well for the gameplay of this game. And
I feel
so-
like the Goodfellas one, you have to somebody's got to snitch. And if you snitch too early, you don't get as good a deal. But if you snitch at the right time, you get the best deal. And then also you got to trick somebody into they think they're going to get made, they're going to be a made man. Not going to go so well.
He's on to something.
Not going to go so well.
There you go. So
But,
that's our top 5. Those were some great picks.
What a list.
There was like at least 5 good ones in there.
At least 5 that Dan would play. Hey, yo, this is why Dan shows up once every 3 months.
Yeah.
I would like to hear. Do you guys have some more? Do you have honorable mentions?
I have
a few
honorable mentions that are ideas. I don't have the game that they would retheme. I just want.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say. I'll just go first because again, I probably don't have as cool as you kind of stuff. Here's the stuff that I wanted because again, the way I approach this is I took themes I wanted and said, what game would they fit? I didn't take games that I wanted to retheme for the most part. I mean, Gloomhaven, I did want to retheme, right? So I really want a Fight Club game. I just can't figure out a way to do it.
Well,
and
there is one. We haven't played it yet.
Well, the one is still in production, I think, right? The one
Oh,
where
I
it's a
thought it
deck
was
builder.
out. Maybe it's
Yeah,
not.
I don't think
Okay.
it's out yet. There's one where it's like a deck builder and you're like each inside the narrator's mind and stuff. Very clever idea. If that's good, then awesome. It completes. I really want to.
I am Jack's irate deck builder.
Yeah, exactly. I am Jack's currency. Jack spends me. Jack gets better cards.
Or maybe there's a Fight Club game out and they're just not allowed to talk about the Fight
That's
my
true.
God.
Nobody's talked about it.
That's so stupid. I love it. Okay, here's an underdog. Titan AE is an animated movie that I love. And I would like to see this in a game somehow. The only thing that I can think of, right, because the base of the movie is there's 2 players or 2 teams of play or whatever. It would be something like that. One player plays as the Dredge. They want to find and destroy Titan. The other teams play as the humans who are trying to find and deploy Titan. They want to find the new planet.
Star Wars Rebellion.
I thought about it.
It's Titan AE.
Here's the thing. I thought about it, except that both players want to find it. So the rebels don't know where it is either, right? Because the whole point is somewhere out there is New Earth, right? That's what Titan is. It's the new Earth.
Right.
Earth is exploded. We need to find the new Earth. And both factions are trying to find it first because the alien that destroyed Earth wants to destroy Titan, so the humans can't use it. And the humans want to find Titan so they can start a new Earth and fight off the Dredge again, right? That's the basics of the thing. I love the movie. I love the idea. And I want that to be a thing. And then my last one, Tim knows about this. We've talked about it before. But The Frighteners is a movie that I love.
It's a great movie.
Michael J. Fox,
Robert Zemeckis.
And the basic idea of Frighteners is Michael J. Fox can see ghosts. He starts seeing numbers carved into people's foreheads, which is the order they're going to die in. He is now trying to fight off the Grim Reaper and stop him before he can kill everyone. And so how do we make a cooperative game where there's like a programmed, like people are going to die in a certain order and we have to deduce how to save them? Right? Like we're trying to figure out how do we stop this program that is already set. Player A is like there's a bunch of like, just like, a programmed line of people, right? And we know this person's going to die, then this person's going to die. And we're working together and taking actions to try to figure out how do we break the program, right? Like, and the program is the Grim Reaper, right? Something like that. Those are the 3 themes that I couldn't figure out a way to put them onto a game, but that I really want to see turned into a board game at some point.
Nice. Those are good. Oh man, Mike, you got any honorable mentions?
I do. I have a few honorable mentions. As you mentioned, Scout and Quacks were my honorable mentions. I didn't really retheme them. I just thought they could do something else.
Nice,
literally anything. Yes. Oh, I love it. Somebody mentioned Chinatown earlier. Any other theme could work for Chinatown. You could just call that a city. Hey, let's
Yeah, it could be
Chicago, the game. I don't know.
It
Just
could be all about trading death sticks. Hey, now we're back in Star Wars again.
yeah. I mean, you're basically just trying to collect sets and put them on the board. It's mostly a trading and negotiating game. I think it's a lot of.
You could retheme it to the Mediterranean.
Yes. Perfect.
There you
Yes. Trading in the Mediterranean. Chinatown, the game.
That's never been
love it.
done.
No,
It's never been
definitely not. But no, I just love how this game forces interaction. You have to. You're just not going to draw the stuff you want. You have to be willing to trade, and it forces that in the game. There is a round that is just the trading phase. You can sit there in silence if you want, but otherwise you're gonna try to get the stuff you need. Chinatown needs a better theme. Okay, so it's funny because I wrote down ethnos, and now it's Archaeos Society, and like the ethnos theme is actually fine. It's fantasy themed. It just doesn't have very good art, unfortunately. But I'm not sure that Archaeos Society is making that game any better. They could have just updated the art, honestly, and that game would have been just fine. Okay, and I'm going to go on a total limb here. Okay, so Wingspan. As some people may know, I enjoy Wingspan a lot. I actually love the game of Wingspan. But I think it's a theme that doesn't work for everybody, even though it's approachable. So I'm just going to intentionally make this a very manly theme that may not appeal to everybody, and we're going to go backwards here. We're going to make this a game all about cars. Every card can be a classic car, and it just gives you information about that car. Like, hey, here's the 67 Camaro. Here's how much horsepower it had. Here's how much torque. Here's, when they changed the body style. This may make the game less appealing to more people. I don't care. I thought of the idea when we were doing this list. I wrote it down. I said I'd mention it. So I did. Do what you want with it.
Sure.
I would say if you're going to do Wingspan, let's get Spencer's money and let's do it with dinosaurs. You could do it.
Different dinosaurs.
You could do Wingspan with dinosaurs. And yes.
Yeah. And then you could just call it Prehistoric Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's definitely not a game titled that or that has the word Earth in it. It's a card-based engine building.
Blip.
Hey, thank you. I thought there would be some people that would find the appeal to that. I mean, how many bird watchers are out there? I mean, I know some, and that's actually why I bought the game.
No,
but if I knew
Houston,
every card was a classic car, I'd probably buy it again.
Brandon Houston game giveaway winner, just so you know, is in on Dinospan. So
Dinospan.
I forget which Brandon. Oh, okay. Brandon, which one did you win? I forget. And then with Spencer, I thought you were doing Celtic Knots. Oh, Jeff, going back to the old jokes.
Yeah. Someone's been watching for a while.
No doubt. No doubt.
Wow.
I love it.
You've predated me.
Shadowgate. Yeah. Brandon won Shadowgate.
Oh, okay.
No. So Mike, you got to know, Spencer for the longest time, especially early on, not only kept showing up with his Celtic Knot dice game that he wanted to play and review, but then it felt like there was at least 3 Kickstarters that he covered that were expansions to this.
Like when we used to do the news show, he would talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always fine. That's what he's into. It's just funny that it just kind of became an inside joke of anytime the word Celtic or not was brought up.
So this is what we're talking about? This 4.3?
I don't know, honestly.
No, look up Knot Dice.
Oh, yeah. Knot Dice is the one he used to talk about.
KNOT Dice. There it is.
Looks similar.
There it is.
6.7 ranked 9,936. It's a
There it
banger.
is.
Look at that. Wow.
I mean, that looks like what's it called, Suro or something, right?
Oh yeah. A little bit
I mean,
path building game.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look at those components.
Dude,
In all
no,
fairness, those dice look fucking sick. I mean,
Those
sorry,
dice do
look kinda
excuse my F
cool.
word, but those
those
look
dice
really
look great.
cool.
Those dice look great. But it was one of the foundational jokes that it goes along with Dan doesn't like fun.
Yep.
Spencer
and
doesn't.
this game sucks. Yep.
This game sucks.
Classic.
Spencer only likes not dice and dinosaurs. Bob will back anything if it's deluxe.
Yep.
And Tim likes bad games. I mean, it's
The
those are
funny
pretty
thing is, all of these hold up.
Oh damn.
Nice.
But yeah, so these are some old running jokes. Yeah, there we go, Brett.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
Mike
for
and I
it.
went to hit at the same time. Listen,
Do we have
if
to
I-
check how many 10s he currently has?
He lowered it.
I lowered
That's
some.
true.
I
He
lowered some.
did.
I lowered some. I was shamed.
I know.
into-
I remember.
I was shamed into getting onto my BGG and making it represent.
I
Wow.
can't wait
better
until
feelings.
we don't have a single game on the show that has only gotten 10s, so that it is a 10 for Board Game Rundown.
Yeah,
I can't wait till the game gives us that.
man. I mean, we got 10
What's
as
the
a 10.
highest?
I don't think I rate 10 as a 10. No, I enjoy 10, but it is definitely not a 10. But that's a good question.
Yeah, 10,
Uh,
10 was getting a lot of hate in the 42 thing the other day, and I was like, geez,
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I mean,
I
it's
thought-
definitely not great.
What?
Yeah, they hate 10, apparently. I thought that game was all right.
It
I
was
had a
just
good
a simple
time.
card game.
Yeah, I mean, I had a
You
good
know?
time playing it. I don't own it or anything.
Yeah, it would be interesting, Jeff, because like that's not how Nemesis works. So it would take a pretty big mechanic hit too. Like you're not trying to repair like you can repair the generators, but that's not your goal in Nemesis. So
Right.
like I tried avoiding things where I had to change the mechanics to retheme it, right? Like Tim, I think only had one on his list where you said you'd have to change a couple things. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it was like Quacks because you'd need to
Oh,
add a
yeah,
card or two, right? Just
Right.
Now wait. This does confuse me about Bob. He's given one game a 10, and it's not in his top 5.
That is weird. Which game was it? 'Cause,
I
yeah,
know,
that's-
Bob.
Oh my.
You might need to replay it, Bob, because the math ain't adding up. Either it deserves to be in your top 5 or it doesn't deserve to be a 10.
Oh,
I was
oh, dang.
actually curious what the highest rated game
On BGR.
has ever been. Yes, and I've got
smartphones
Oh,
up there.
I've got the list here if you would like to see it. It's not what you think. And I'm curious how one of
Love of the
these
Clock
got
Tower's up
rated.
there, too.
Yes, I'm curious how one of these got ranked because we don't have a review out.
Oh, interesting. Someone must have accidentally rated it on their thought they were on their personal channel and rated it.
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure who actually runs our BGG account.
I have never logged into our BGG account.
It's
so
mostly
not
me.
me. Okay, so what did Dan rate a 10?
Yeah, what did I rate?
Scythe?
Oh, so our highest ranked game is Bang the Dice Game Old Saloon.
No.
We did play it. I don't think we reviewed it though. You're right. But it's a 9.4. No one gives a 9.4. Like
Wait
that
a
must have been
minute.
us, like averaging it.
No, that's what I mean. This is the aggregate.
Wait a
Right.
minute. That's weird.
I
call shenanigans.
I'm doing research.
now Dune Imperium Rise of Ix.
Rise of 9.
I didn't think. Okay, sure. I have no
It's
idea.
just plain. No,
So
it's
here's
Rise of
why,
X.
guys. Here's why this happened, and I don't know how to change it. We reviewed Bang the Dice Game and Old Saloon together in one review. So the
Ah.
expansion and the base game both got a 9.4. So
Okay, Blood on the Clock Tower, no surprise.
yep, amazing.
I wasn't even in that review. Would have
I
went
know,
higher.
Imagine how high it would have been. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't
Instead,
remember
you
who
had.
was the fourth one. Like it might have been Andrew.
I think it was Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
and he gave it
Andrew
like a
F.
7 or 7.5.
He liked it a lot. I don't remember how low his thing was.
Yeah, I think it was like a 7.5. I think he gave us.
Circadian's Chaos Order, which you guys obviously loved. And as you can see, the community also loves. Oh, wait. I'm surprised that's ranked so low.
Which one?
The geek rating on Circadian's Chaos Order is 5.8.
It's the box art.
It's got to be.
Game is amazing. So good. I'd give it like a 9.2, for instance.
Blank slate with the 9, rocking the 9.
I'm looking at that Tavern's rating there. That's pretty dang good right
Yeah.
there. That's some good
I
stuff.
like that Watergate got a 9 because that was only a 2-man review. So that just means we both gave it a 9.
Oh, but look at that Ankh. Look at that juicy Ankh review. Still solid. Still
Yeah.
rock solid. And I know that was a 4-man video.
Guys, these are good games. It's weird that they're ranked this high, you know?
Mm, 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 mm. Good
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, and I would rank that one a 10, so I would have raised your score. I also want to point out how Wonderland's War was the 4th highest. It was a 9.3. Just want to get that out there.
It's fine. You had a biased
We'll
panel.
just say you picked and chose who sat in on that review very well.
Yeah. You and Bob and Jason like sat in on that, and they're like 10s.
Planet Unknown sitting there with the 8.9. The more I play that game, the more I love it.
Yep.
And,
You know
and
what's-
it's the most desirable game that I do not own right
You know
now.
what's funny is
Mine as
the-
well.
The further I get away from Planet Unknown, the less interested I get in it.
Right. And then you'll play it again
Sad.
and you'll be like, why did I get so uninterested?
Maybe.
It's
I know.
fantastic.
Maybe.
Man, I love that game so much.
But like My Father's Work, I really want to play that again. Like
Yep.
I would play that right now.
Yeah.
Like My Father's Work. It was so much fun.
Well, yeah, same thing right there with Destinies. Those are two games that we
Oh,
only got to play
Destinies!
like the first 2 scenarios of.
Yeah.
And we,
Man,
and we rated
Destinies
it
was
after that because
crazy
we
fun.
wanted to.
Man, Bob brought up playing My Father's Work at JuliaCon last weekend. I'm like, maybe
I
not.
don't know.
Maybe not for
Like,
this.
At JuliaCon, that's not like game I want to play. Like
Right.
I don't know. There's other games I want to play. I want to play Ankh. I want to play Tyrants of the Underdark. I want to play Lords of Vegas. You know what I mean? Like Equinox. I want to jam out like some of those games with.
Yes,
people.
Bob. Yes, I know, and I want to play it again. I just didn't feel like that was the right setting for it. I don't know. I'm just rolling with it here. Hey, look at that raw score that I brought down.
Oh, dude, raw.
Well, that's actually, I don't know what that, because that is actually because we reviewed Raw before
Right.
the original. So
Now
this
the score
probably
is
hasn't-
updated,
Oh, it has been Okay,
April
I-
2023,
I couldn't remember if I had updated it or not.
and I thought so.
We Mike, I'm just gonna put you on the spot. I can't remember. Do you want to buy my extra copy of Raw? I forget. You were so
Oh,
wishy-washy on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He still
Okay.
sounds wishy-washy.
I know
I'm
he
still
does.
wishy-washy. I
He really
mean,
does.
it was evident in my score. Like I even said in the review, it's like a game I don't know if I need to own, but like I like it and I'll play it anytime somebody brings it up. But man, just those components in that version are just wowzers.
Oh, you're selling, you got 2 of the new one.
I did.
I was going to say,
I
I'll buy
did.
it from you, but I probably can't afford that then.
No, I was selling it really cheap, actually.
If Dan wants it, I want him to have it. So I don't want to stand in the way of that.
I was selling it for.
talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. I won't say
Yeah,
on,
we'll
on,
talk.
on the live stream. I'll put it
Yes.
up. Yeah.
We're gonna negotiate here right now.
David, that might
Dan-
be the dumbest joke I've ever read.
Honk, honk. I'm just
Oh man.
I'm just gonna say that made doing this stream tonight totally worth it. Like it was it. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm really glad that our Thursday stream has worked out, and that we still had a bunch of the regulars and even some people we haven't seen in a minute. And Dan, it's been awesome having you on, dude. It's been tons of fun,
Yay.
man.
Definitely.
Tons of fun.
I'm
That's
off
really
on
good.
Thursdays. Yay.
We're
Yeah,
going
so-
back to Wednesdays.
Bye.
Yeah, so that was kind of one of the experiments about tonight. Like it was, okay, we got Dan free on Thursday. We may get a different crowd. Let's just kind of see what happens. And yeah, it was awesome still. We got all our usuals and Dan. So
Well, we're missing a
Oh.
few of our regs, but yeah.
Tim,
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that smartphone wasn't an honorable mention for you because you always say that the only thing you don't like about the game is you find the theme boring. You always say that.
I do.
So-
I really, it's more that I just hate the box art
Okay.
with the hipster douche on the front. And what's funny, Dan, is I really tried to think of a way to make smartphone more interesting, and the only way that I could do it would
Star
be
Wars.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, we got to
No.
build those YT 1300s, boys.
No, you know, like, hey, sometimes you want A-wings, but you know, they gotta have
Yeah.
this, you know. No, I honestly, the way that I thought about marketing it would not sell would be under the Narcos theme, where you're just selling drugs and you're trying to
Oh, boy.
distribute drugs to other countries.
Yeah, that's a rough free theme.
Yeah, it's not
That's
gonna,
way more appealing to
it's not going to be popular. In honor
Well,
of
here we are
420,
with Tim's. Yeah, dang
in
it.
honor of 420,
Steal my thunder.
we're trying to you know, we're going to market different strains of weed to
I'm
different
so
customers.
glad I literally didn't realize that was today until right now. Usually I have to work and put up with that BS all day long.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
dumb.
very glad I was off
It's
today.
so
I didn't
dumb.
even
You
notice.
selling a whole bunch of Swisher Sweets there,
Yeah,
Dan?
to people that can barely speak English. They're like mumbling. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that they can barely speak English because it's not their native language.
No,
It's just
yeah,
because they're
it's
so
not.
stoned out of their gourd they
Yeah,
can barely talk.
exactly. Oh. Galileo.
Ooh. Nice. I'll go turn my lights off real quick. Tim, you in? I think he's buffering. He's buffering. There it is. Timbot.exe error.
Galileo.
There we go.
I'm way late. I'm way
There
late.
you go. My line punch is way back there.
Run. Yep. I guess before we go, yes, don't forget to like the stream, guys, please, if you can.
Oh, yeah.
We much appreciate it. And also, I know there's a lot of jokes going on, but do you guys have any genuine rethemes that you guys have thought about in the past that you're just like, man, I'd love this game rethemed? Or rather, like kind of what I did with my honorable mentions of just like, how is this theme not in a good game yet? That stuff fascinates me. It is technically a different list, right? Like you guys did intellectual properties that you wanted in games, right? Like that's kind of what I started doing towards the end. But I wasn't in that video. So
Yeah, there could have been some crossover there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just a much easier list again, I think. Like I said at the top, like just saying like, I want this theme to be in a game, here's the mechanics I would do is so much easier than saying, oh God, how do I change the way that this game works to still be thematic, you know, with this kind of stuff, which is, you know, it's a testament to all the game designers out there that have to do that stuff, you know?
Right.
That's why they
Well,
get paid.
I mean, Mike Giuliano from the Full 42, his game that he got made, his
The
Batman
Batman.
game, was a different theme
Yep.
when he was pitching it, and they changed it to the IP that they owned. So I
Right.
mean, it makes total sense. You know, it does happen. You know, Prospero Hall has a stable of designers, and they go, hey, we've got this, pitch me your Gremlins game, you know, pitch me your Ghostbusters game, whatever, you know, IP they've got. and they've got to work within those parameters, right? So I mean, there's all different kinds of ways that these games get made, and different reasons that they come out the way that they come out. So it's super interesting. But it's always fun to just pretend like we get a bunch of say in this and like why things are the way they are, and be like, well, yeah, there should be this game, and we have got all the money in the world to own all the rights to whatever IPs we want, or just create whatever game we want, without any problems. Oh, hold on, Bob. Bob, that's a good one. I played Cthulhu.
Yeah, I haven't played Death May Die, so I don't know how it would tie in, but if you say it does, then cool.
I mean, I would just play a Fifth Element board game. Honestly, you had me at Fifth Element. Great one.
I'll say really quick to Andrew, you said Death Star Trench Run. That's actually that was my initial idea for Watergate, was to do the trench run. You're trying to, like, the middle of the board is the hole, and you're trying to get your shots into the hole. But I couldn't get the tug of war thing. What are you fighting over? Like, that's not a thing. So I changed it to the Rogue One plans.
So I haven't played Bonanza. But yeah, it's beans, right? So anything would be better.
Planning.
I could use anything to make Azul more appealing to me. That was a very popular game that just kind of fell flat with me. So yes, any different theme. I understand the appeal of the theme. Super interesting. Whatever. I find Sagrada more interesting, but then again, I like Role Player and Carnivalesco much better than Sagrada, if we're gonna play, those style of games. Let's see, Marvel Zombies.
The theme, right? The idea of building the stained glass window is actually interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just boring how it's implemented in Sagrada to me. And I haven't played any of the Azuls because I tend not to like abstract strategy. But
yeah, and I've got the retail version of Marvel Zombies, but I haven't played it yet. We probably need to do that for the show at some point in time.
Right.
Check it out.
Tim says Bob will back anything, but here's the thing: Tim will buy anything and then just decide he never needs to play it.
Well, I bought it really cheap, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was coming to retail so fast. I saw it
Zombies
there too. Yeah, I almost bought it because it was sitting there in that bin, and I was like, "What?" Like at first, I thought like, "Oh, did they do? Is this a different game?"
Right.
I didn't think there was gonna be sitting in a freaking Barnes and Noble or whatever it was. So,
oh boy, David's got the jokes since we don't have Jason tonight. Slamming them in. There's only Zool. No Dana.
Nice.
No Dana. Only Zool. But yeah, guys, this was awesome. What a fun topic, and I'm really glad that we had all of you here tonight, commenting, interacting with us, giving us your ideas. It's what makes the live streams so much fun and unique from just the stuff we do in the studio, where where we're all just kind of interacting with each other. Just the 3 or 4 of us, and giving each other a hard time, and, picking apart our arguments or backing them up. But every Wednesday or Thursday is so much fun, because we just never know what y'all are going to throw at us in the comments. And it is always a pleasure, and is always so much fun. So yeah,
definitely. You guys make it worth it. And we're getting more awesome Star Wars Cubitos idea. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Cheese Bob SquarePants. Let's get a game going. We could.
Yeah,
that's my name for Cubitos now.
Cheese Bob SquarePants. Excellent.
We need to fix this BGR thing at the top of the screen that goes backwards.
Is it backwards?
It lights up RGB. And
every time, backwards.
Yeah, it just lights up backwards. And every time it does that, I don't understand. Like, I think it's just that it lights up randomly, but it just so happens to light up RGB. But it does
light up backwards. That is weird.
Like I said, I think it was just set to randomly light up. Like if you look at subscribe in the bottom corner, it just kind of randomly lights up. So I think it does the same thing. It just randomly lit up RGB and it only lights up the same way every time, But anyway, it was just nice to have the 3 best hosts on.
Oh, thank God I was here tonight. Holy crap.
Wow, definitely no hosts in the comments.
You and me, boy.
We're coming for you, Hooper. We're coming for you. Oh, dang. No, this was awesome. This was so much fun. Dan, work a job where you can have Wednesdays off and hang out with us all the time.
I mean,
or
I
Saturdays.
technically could. I could just ask to switch Wednesday and Thursday, I guess. Your guys' schedules are both the same on Wednesday and Thursday, so that doesn't make sense to me.
I know.
So, you guys can keep doing your Wednesday thing. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with the same letter.
We could just add a Thursday. We could just add a Thursday.
I'm just glad I could make it.
Yeah. Damn. And no, David, as far as I know, there is no basketball game that I can think of.
Yeah, but honestly, you could take most sports games like your deck builder hockey thing, and you could work it into basketball if you really wanted to. Like
BoardGameTables.com now All Play has a game called Basket Boss, which is like a GM. You're like a GM of a franchise, and you're like bidding on players that like perform better in different seasons. It looks kind of cool. I haven't looked that much into it, but that's
okay.
I'm not aware of that many. So
okay. Well, I'm going to jump in. I know we've said it already, but I'm going to say it again. Everybody watching this video, please do the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. If you've been hanging out with us for this long, you can do that, right? That's super easy.
It's all we ask.
We do. Well, no, I mean, we've got a Patreon, and if that is your bag and you want to contribute to the show, additionally, that is there for you. But honestly, you guys interacting with us, commenting, that's the best way. That is so valuable to us, your time, your eyeballs on the video. So everybody, as David said, do the thumb warp again. I was so excited to see a bunch of the thumbs ups on the video I did last night, just because everybody, complied.
I programmed a bot to do that. You weren't getting them.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks.
It makes sense finally.
Thanks. But yeah, no, everybody give us a thumbs up if you can, or a thumbs down if you hated all of Dan's ideas or that he didn't like.
They were pretty garbage, so I get it.
He didn't want to play my Quacks 3 theme where you get poisoned. Everybody loves to get poisoned. Come on.
You tried to poison a Sicilian, Tim.
Yeah, you never do that.
It's not going to work.
It's the second biggest mistake you can make, right? Is second only to getting involved in a land war in Asia.
Well,
just
clearly
don't do
I cannot draw the token out of my bag because it's going to be a white. But clearly I cannot pull the token out of your bag because that's not in the rules.
Right.
Could be.
Man, it would be so much fun. And yes, Bob, remember, everybody, always remember, mutations are good. Just ask Patrick Olmstead. He will tell you that. If you're ever playing Defenders of the Last Stand, and it will go horribly wrong. But no, man. Give us the thumbs up. Give us that interaction. It's awesome. Again, the comments are amazing, and probably 90% of why Mike and I keep doing this. We are fueled by the comments. I mean, our entire list of topics has been fueled by you guys. It is all stuff that you guys have given us either here on the show or over on the Discord. So make sure you're hopping over, interacting with us wherever you can. If Facebook's your bag, hey man, make it happen. Discord is great, man. There's all kinds of conversations always going on over at the Discord, and it's awesome. It's super fun.
The Discord is bonkers.
Yeah, it is. There's great running jokes. We've got what's really exciting though is in the Discord, we've got people like Paul from Gem Time, right? That interacting and he's excited about stuff that he's going to be giving away at Origins at Gen Con, and you can you can interact with him directly. You could reach out to him and arrange to play his game, on Tabletop Simulator. I mean, there's just all kinds of people over there. There's designers, there's all of us, and there's just a ton of really funny gamers over there, just having a good time talking about board games or whatever. And it's super good. It's super good. Holiday themes in the game. Christmas is already full. David, a friend of ours, the guy, Chris Gaizat, who designed Shadowgate, has got this trick or treat game that is eventually going to come out that I cannot wait for the trick or treating game that he has designed to come out. It's so good. And Andrew, is this really just Nightmare Before Christmas? Whatever. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. What's this?
What's this? Yeah. But hey, Paul, thank you so much for those kind words, man. I am proud of the group we have cultivated. I'd like to continue to grow it. We've got great people over there, and Dan, and just kidding. No, we've got totally deserving. No, we've got an awesome group of people, right? And the Rundown guys are just a very small part of that. I mean, you guys make up most of that and make up the majority of why it is so much fun. And yeah, there's running jokes over there. There's, we're talking about games we love, upcoming Kickstarters, new games. There's so many people that have played Earth. I feel like everybody on Earth has played it but me and I guess Dan now, right?
Correct.
I don't think. Oh, yeah. Mike, you did play it. I thought you didn't.
Mike played
Twice.
it last weekend at my sister's.
No, once. Sorry.
Oh,
no, I did not.
Yeah,
I did not.
Mind.
I let someone step in because I played it.
Okay.
It's great.
There was a game
played it
where people didn't play it. That's all I remembered.
Yeah, Mike played it with Ben, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, and David, yes, despite being run down, we do have plenty of energy. And
Thanks, Dave.
And then yeah, Bobby played it at Julia's.
Okay, so
which
it was
is
recent. Okay.
So yeah, in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced the game exists.
Right.
I've only seen it in photos.
That's how I feel about Darwin's Journey. Everybody's like, "Oh, Darwin's Journey's gonna show up," and
it's on the way.
I could not be less excited for that game. I really could.
I still don't know anything about it. I want to play it, especially because it's very popular. I want to play games that are popular because they're popular, so I might like them. That's not always the case. I didn't like that snow game. Can't remember what's the
Endless Winter.
Endless Winter. Yeah, I didn't like Endless Winter, right? So it does happen, and that was getting a lot of buzz when it came out. But I'm excited to play that, and also again, I'm a broken record here. I can't wait to play Hegemony. I just
Dude,
forward to that so much.
I can't make it tomorrow. I was really trying hard to make it tomorrow, but I was like, if that changes, I will let you know. And if there's a seat, if that seat has been filled, you just tell me and it's fine. If for some reason it changes, I'll be like, I'm there, because that game sounds amazing.
Sure. I mean, the simple fact is I need to get it played, even if it's just my freaking self. I need to get it played so I can at least teach it. But hey guys,
100%.
Everyone in the comment, if you wonder why our Hegemony video comes out 3 weeks late when it's not popular anymore and we get 0 views on it.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
Hey, my thing has been planned since January. What's Tim's excuse?
I'm married and I got kids.
Crap. He always pulls out the bangers.
Dang it. Pulls out the wife card.
Hey, listen, at the very least, hopefully Bob and Dan can sit in and do a video on Sunday, which means it'll come out, hopefully next week on Hegemony, and they can have some thoughts.
See. It's a rough game to review after one play. So even though like Rado reviewed it after only playing it twice and only at 2 players, so like he felt confident, dude. Andrew, come up and play it with us. Absolutely. I just want to get 4 seats filled.
I think though that like there's definitely games that you can play where you can go, I need to try this some more before I really like give my opinion. And
Right.
sometimes you can play a game for the first time and you're like, this is my favorite freaking game of all time. I mean, I
Yeah.
felt that way like halfway through my first play of Concordia. I'm like, this game's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think regardless, we're gonna need to do a first impressions or something just to
Mhm.
talk about the game. We need to start talking about the game. It's
Yeah.
very popular, and I'm also I want to talk about it. I'm very interested, even if I hate it.
Agreed.
So I'm trying to get a 4-player play so that we can actually see all the classes in their full, because when you play with lower
Man.
players, you can only play as certain classes. And you have to run the other ones as sort of an AI. You don't have to do everything they do, but like if no one's playing a state, you still need a state treasury to have money and stuff, So there's some stuff that you have to play.
Mhm.
I can't see that comment because my
David.
Grammarly is covering it.
Oh no, yeah, no, he's stock markets, hedge funds, hedge money theme.
Hedge money, got it. Hegemony.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually why Tim's sitting out tomorrow. He already gave Hegemony a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
So,
10 on theme.
he's like, I don't need to play it. I already rated it.
10 on theme. Looks amazing. Looks amazing. Well, like, I mean, Hegemony really, I mean, what's going to be the next Great Wall for us, right? I mean, the Great
Right.
Wall was a game we were all very excited about. Went in very excited. And then we played it and we're like, "Bloop." And we've been talking in the Discord. We're going to play it again at not just 3 players. We're going to play it with 3 players, but we're also going to incorporate the Black Powder expansion to try to. That has been recommended to us that increases your experience, right, with
And
the game.
the fixed general abilities, I assume.
Yeah, or just not use that broken dude that they said
Sure, if
wasn't
it's just the
broken,
one
and then they
guy.
nerfed, but then they
Yeah.
nerfed Vindication.
That's a different game.
Yeah, totally different game. Also, really good game. As long as you're not forced to play it like Mike was. It's a very fun game.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
Mike had Vindication shoved down his throat, and I don't know that anybody's going to receive any game that well. When it
Did you not like it, Mike? Not like, but like, did you not like? enjoy
It was okay. I would not suggest throwing that many modules at new players.
Oh, sure.
Mm.
It definitely has a.
there was
tablet to keep
so
it
much-
going on.
Well, and there was so much extra rules overhead to modules that didn't even get touched during gameplay. Now, some of that might have been because we had objectives that shortened the game, but I just adding rules overhead to modules that don't get used is not what I would suggest for new players.
Yeah, that's a little rough. Okay.
no, that's a game you kind of need to play a little bare bones first.
Yeah, I'll also say though, I like Vindication. I think it's a very clever game, and I like Blue Orange Nebula. Is that what
Yeah.
it is, or is it
Yep.
just I can never remember the full name for some reason. But after seeing that production and everything, I looked at some of their other games. They did the big space exploration one. But anyway, I've been impressed with some of their stuff, and I also though didn't love it, is what I'm trying to say. I thought this was a clever little game, and I know a lot of people that, like, really love it, and it wasn't exactly there for me.
I really like Vindication. I would own it if it wasn't, the cost of entry wasn't so high to get in. It's really well made. But for me to be able to get it played consistently and stuff, just not really worth it at that point in time for me, or at this point in time for me. Unless it like fell into my lap for, a good trade or a, really good price point. But no,
Is it just
I would
Orange
recommend that
Nebula?
game. Yeah, it might be Orange Nebula.
I think it's just Orange Nebula, and they did Unsettled. That's what I was trying to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
All right. Well, I got the notification that my phone is at like 20%. So I don't know
Okay.
how much more time.
my computer is at 100% battery. Actually, it's funny.
It's
Oh, wow,
plugged
mine
in,
too.
dick.
I have lost. I can't see you guys, so As
Oh,
long as everything
sweet.
looks fine on your end, that's cool. My StreamYard just went to white screen.
I'm just
Nice.
making faces at Dan right now. But no, but this has been awesome. We're probably about where we need to be anyways on time.
Yeah, we've been winding down for like 20 minutes.
We have been, but that's the thing is like, the nice thing about the live streams is we could just kind of chill. We bang through the list, we have a good time, and then we could chill and kind of just talk to everybody and each other. Super good. Since Mike doesn't like us and isn't going to be at filming this weekend, which is
Oh.
totally lame.
Well, yes.
Mike,
Actually, actively avoiding all of you.
yeah, Mike doesn't care about the show. You didn't come on last night. He's not going to be on this weekend. You know, he just hates all of you guys.
Well,
You know, Dan and I are the ones that really care.
Yep,
Uh,
in it for the
at-
money.
You know, Bob shows up. You know, at least
I
in
mean,
comments.
that's how I would word that. Yes.
Bob shows up. Dan,
Oh,
Dan can't even handle his
Can't
own
face the
his own
music.
jab. All right, let's do a real quick recap of our list. We only did lists of 5, David.
yeah.
But let's do a real quick recap of our list before we sign off then.
Yep.
I guess I'll go first since I was the first one in clockwise orders. I would retheme Scout to nothing. Make Scout themeless because the theme on Scout is garbage. My number 2 is I would make Quacks of Quedlinburg like a spy theme game where you've been poisoned and you're trying to get rid of the poison or to negate the poison by imbibing other chemicals. My number 3 would be Zaya Legend of a Drift System. I think it's great. It's just a generic space theme. So why not make it like a cool mythological nautical theme where you do boats and you're dealing with krakens and sea monsters and, you know, all that good stuff. My number 2 would be Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, but I would retheme it as Blade Runner. And you don't know if you are a replicant. You are trying to deduce who the replicant is. There was lots of discussion on how we make that happen. And my number 1 is that I would retheme Downfall of Pompeii and make it the Downfall of Hadley's Hope. We're going with the alien theme here. You are playing on colony L54, what is it? L5426, something like that.
Sounds right.
And yeah, you are instead of trying to flee the volcano, you're populating the city and then fleeing the volcano. You are now populating the colony, but then trying to escape before the aliens can snatch you up instead of getting burned up by lava. Though that is my 5 through 1. Yeah, David, I'm a big fan of Seinfeld, so let's do Scout, a Seinfeld game about nothing. I am 100% in for that. What is the deal with that circus theme? There we go. All right, Dan.
Yeah, my favorite from that list is the Pompeii one, just because, again, I was surprised with how well I thought it translated theme.
Dude.
Good job.
Good.
So let's see. My number 5 was turn Marvel champions into DC champions. Nothing special. I just want a DC version of that game. I get that Marvel's more popular, but DC is better. My number 4, I think, was I want to turn Watergate into Project Stardust, which is the 2 factions fighting over the plans to destroy the Death Star. So kind of a Rogue One theme on Watergate, just to get more people to play it. I like the theme of Watergate, but more people will play it if it's Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 was Puerto Rico. Again, same reason. I want more people to play it. No one is picking Puerto Rico up off the shelf unless you're like deep in the hobby. So let's get more new players to play it by theming it as a game night kind of thing. You are hosting, you're running a game store or running a game night kind of thing. I guess hosting a game store is more apt to what I'm explaining here. But so instead of plantations, you have game types like, board games, card games, stuff like that. Instead of buildings, you are doing events like tournaments and giveaways and stuff like that. And that is upping your customers and stuff like that. I think that's an interesting way to take that. Thank you, Levi, for helping with that. Number 2 was Gloomhaven. Just doesn't interest me enough. Let's make it XCOM. I think it transfers really well into the XCOM universe. Bob, a fan of both themes, was very happy to hear that earlier. And my number 1 was War of the Ring, the card game, a pretty new game. To paint that with Dragon Ball Z, I went in depth on all the things you can do with that earlier. Rewatch it if you want. I want a good Dragon Ball Z game, and I think War of the Ring, the card game, is some good bones to build a Dragon Ball Z game on.
There you go. What you got, Mike?
All right, my number 5 is Cubitos. I just don't think the square cheese on the box or all the box square figures do the game any justice. So let's slap Mario Kart on it and let's sell millions of copies.
Good idea.
Concordia, my favorite game of all time. I would make this about like house flipping or like property mogul. I know a lot of people don't think that's a very interesting theme. I like unique modern themes, and I've never seen that done. I know Tim thinks that that'll turn into an HGTV show. I guess it's going to be House Hunters. Hey, I'm a part-time gerbil breeder, and my budget's $4.5 million.
Yeah, that is it. That is accurate. That is an accurate.
I was hoping somebody would get that joke. Thank
Holy
you, Tim.
crap!
Caverna, one of my favorite worker placement games of all time, but that theme, I mean, a cave farmer, So let's make it about the Underpants Gnomes from South Park. We'll just call it South Park Phase 2. Bonfire by Stefan Feld. This has the dumbest theme of any game I've ever heard of. Your gnomes on a dark planet.
Somehow dumber than Underpants Gnomes is
trying to relight the fires to get it's stupid. And they've got Grogu meeples, so let's just make it a Star Wars game. And then we have Sons of Anarchy, Men of Mayhem. I think is a great game that got overlooked because of its violent and very adult theme. Let's make this an alternate prequel to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We are warring planets, exploiting other planets to make the most money and put in the bid to have the intergalactic superhighway ran through our planet, which means it will get destroyed.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, Lemmy Winks is the most valuable golden gerbil of them all. And yes, there was already an XCOM board game, but what Dan was talking about is that the XCOM board game does everything that the video game doesn't do. So we should have a good video game implementation.
Yeah. I should point out that the XCOM board game is good, and there is like the base building in the video game, but the base building in the video game is just what you do between the fun stuff, and and the board game's fun, but I want a board game that does the tactical fighting part, the main thing you do in the video game. Right. So.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, those are the lists. That was super fun. Really good list. Lots of really interesting ideas, and Mike's list was there too. I can't just pick on Dan.
I mean, you can.
I can, but it gets old after a while. I gotta.
Yeah, you've been doing it for so many years.
I know, right? I got to do other stuff. But no, guys, this was awesome. Thank you so much for real winding down this time. You guys brought it with your lists. Great lists. I would play every game on here.
Yep. And as the kids also say, this list was bussin', no cap.
No God.
and David, always, man, if you miss something, just ask. We're happy to recap, fill it in, whatever. Because these live streams are all about you guys. I mean, we're having fun and we're goofing off. We're hanging out with each other. We'd hang out in real life anyways. So these are fun. Yeah. Listen, I created a show to force people to hang out with me because they just want to be on YouTube.
That part's true.
Yeah, that's accurate. So before we sign off, I will also say there might be more time in Ward Wanderers. Check that out on Kickstarter. Please check out Forges of Ravenshire. Fantastic game. We all universally have raved about that game. We've been excited about it for ages. It's live, it's funded, it's safe. And also, don't forget to check out They Live, Enslave or Save the City. Really, really fun deduction game from Iconic Studios, which we also did a video for. And, Dan will be the first one to tell you. If he doesn't like a game, he'll let you know. He will let you know if he doesn't like a game.
This game sucks.
That's what I'll say.
And all of the games that I just talked about, well, I don't think Dan's played Warden Wanderers, but everything else, we support all these projects. We just wouldn't talk about it if we didn't have any interest in it, or we thought it was bad. We'd say, hey, this is bad. So yeah, check those guys out. And yeah, full disclosure, we are friends with Sam Stockton. I will call him my friend. He has come and visited us, and we've hung out with him quite a bit, and I like him. But yeah, all out of bubblegum. So I guess you just got to kick ass. Jeff, great to see you, man. I know you can't normally make Wednesdays, so thank you so much for coming and making some time on a Thursday. And Nick's pulling double duty and showing up on both nights. So
Madness.
Yeah, he's insane, but I love him. I love him for it. Nix, you got to come. You're from Cincinnati. You got to be at Origins, dude. You better be at Origins. That's all I'm going to say. Mike and I and Dan, Mike and I mostly, and then Dan will, if he has to. We want to play games with you. Do stuff with you.
Yeah, why not get picked on by 3 people?
Yeah. I'm back to throwing Dan under that bus.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully everybody has liked the video, giving us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You guys got anything else before we sign off?
No, I just wanted to say so long and thanks for all the fish.
Nice.
Damn
Well
you,
done.
Dan. Damn you, Dan. That's perfect. That is the perfect sign off. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Mike and Dan, for coming and doing this tonight. It has been super fun. Super fun. Any extra time I get to spend with you guys is a good time. So thank you.
Definitely. It was a blast.
All right. Well, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Dan.
Yes.
Mike.
There we go.
I can't see the screen. I wasn't sure what order to go in.
I don't know. I just figured if I started it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
All right,
We're
guys.
all
Thanks
mad here.
for watching. We're all mad here. I'll see you.